Oh god, not the button.
The button has been pressed.
No, I told you not to press that button.
Oh, true.
How dare you?
Alright, so when you guys last left off, Darkfire, you were in the
Hold
School
on.
of Divination in the very fancy pearlesque divination room that you needed. Whilst the others were waking up ever so calmly. Morning. Alrighty.
It's morning! Yay!
So, I feel like we should start with Darkfire then.
Alrighty.
Makes the most sense contextually, anyway.
I suppose. So, where I last left off, I was in there having just seen what I see.
Mm-hmm.
You saw things. You saw them with your eyes.
Did.
And for once, I'm not making dinner while we're playing. Oh my god.
Hmm.
Who are you? What have you done with Dave? Alrighty, so in an attempt to get the spotlight off of me, I'm gonna actually start making my way back to the or inn, I should say.
Gotcha. Well, as you go to exit the door, you kind of open it up, and that one sphinx from down below, with the very large glasses, just you open the door, and she's like kind of hunched over the door, as if she was looking at it intently. Hands up, huh? Well, why, hello there.
Oh, hi.
I had a feeling you would be up here, and she nods, like looking wise and smug.
Yes, because I asked you for directions.
So smug.
And she kind of gives like a little like nose, just like a hmm. If that is what you believe, I am not one to judge the clouded eye such as yours. And she kind of turns her head.
I'm not the one with glasses.
She opens one eye. I find that offensive.
You
Oh.
were supposed to. So anyway, if you need something, but I need to get back to my party.
Oh, that hurt. Good.
I know. And she kind of waves. Be on with you then.
Kind of roll my eyes and walk past her and start making my way out of.
Very nice. That was your only obstacle.
Oh man, that's the worst we gotta face all day. We're doing good.
Ooh, yeah, we got this guy.
All right. Oh, Star Dancer. You were the only one that is away from the inn.
You fool.
Yep.
You woke up. You got some orange juice. You ranted to Mrs. Lightning Bliss, or Lit Blitz. Sorry, not Bliss.
Sister.
Oh, you cut off there.
I said Blitz Duster.
Yeah, that's the one.
The one you keep forgetting her name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just the Blitz, you know, I just automatically assume lightning. I don't know what it is.
It's weird. Who would think that the German word for lightning would make you think of lightning?
I know, right?
What? How does that even work?
Languages, am I right? There we go. Yeah, Blitz Duster. Cool. And she just she listens to your morning rantings, asks how your morning has been going. Kind of seems to be hoping that your morning is going better than the previous days.
Oh yeah.
Oh, promises.
Now if we can just, well, hopefully we won't have to do another of that game.
Ah.
No
Of course,
promises.
they're probably yes, exactly.
And she kind of tilts her head left and right. Well, you'll only know if you go see your friends again. Kind of. She shrugs.
I guess I should see what they're up to.
Where are they staying anyway?
I think at that inn we passed.
Ooh, the fancy one. Kind of
Yeah, probably.
tap 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 clap clap clap.
So fancy, you can't even handle it.
Well, you seem to have finished your breakfast fast. So don't let me stop ya.
Okay, I guess I will see you later.
Bye.
And with that, go out the door and make my way down toward the end,
we
way across campus.
you just so happen to meet a Darkfire who is on the way there as well, part way of the way there.
Oh, good. He can point me to exactly where it is. I guess I would come around. Did you meet at the gate?
Oh wow, what a coincidence!
Oh, wow.
I
You
found
doing here?
someone I was looking for when they were looking for me.
I
Weird.
know, right? What were you
That
doing
never
here?
happens.
Oh man, I was just paying the School of Divination a visit
I see.
because there's been some weird things happening with that ivory drop character. It'd be easier to tell you all this once we're all together, so I'll hold off on telling you just.
Okay, then. So you know where everyone ended up, right?
Oh yes, I've been staying there.
Good, because obviously I wasn't. Lead the way.
For those
This way.
For those in the inn, around the time that this conversation is happening, you do see like the little cat and the raven kind of sprinting out. Well, new day, and then just kind of run out. And Darkfire and Ring Dancer, you guys notice them kind of fly in and like trade you spots pretty much. The attendant doesn't seem to really mind, as they seem to just be acting like animals. And they Ring Dancer, Star Dancer, you could kind of assume that they see familiars go in and out of here all the time, so they don't really mind.
Yeah, it's probably pretty common.
They go on their merry way, just kind of sprint in. All right. So, you all have met up in this area, had your breakfast, woke up. Well, I don't think Ring Dancer woke up yet.
I'm pretty sure I woke her up. Would have woken her up when we woke up.
Well, if you had woken her up, then more power to you. She's still rubbing her eyes, and she doesn't look like she wanted to be. She wanted to be woken up yet.
Well, sucks to be her. She needs to wake up.
Little spout shall wave a hoof frantically. Do any of you know how to do doctoring? Like real doctoring, not praying to the gods or splashing people with water doctoring?
Can't
But
say that I
takes
do.
so long.
And
Uh,
I just forgot your husband's name.
Yep. Candlelight.
Yes, that's the one. He kind of starts raising his hoof. I think I know how to do a little bit. Why?
You're officially disqualified.
Oh, he kind of looks down.
You're still special though. Boop.
Yay! And he kind of raises.
But you can't do this one.
Oh. Wait, what? He looks around. I'm confused.
She tilts her head so hard he literally flips around, which is something you can do when you're floating.
What? Kind of shrugs.
I need a doctor for the baby.
Oh yeah.
You know, just make sure everything's working right. I mean, I know I'm probably super 100%, 200, maybe 300% all right.
And yeah, he kind of he puts one of his hooves on his on the side of his hip. Well, I'll have you know, I'm very learned, and he holds up one hoof in the art of surgery. Yep, that's the word I was looking for. And he kind of
She delivers another boop. Boop. You're just a little bit close to the subject matter.
kind of thing. Well, if it makes you feel any better, and he starts, you're floating, right?
Yes.
He starts just kind of like poking around you and like labeling different aspects of your anatomy and stuff like that, in an actually fairly skillful manner. just for the
Wait, I thought my flank was my backhand.
Well, I mean, he's able to tell. I rolled the heal check just to see how smart he was.
No, that was a joke. They flank of a horse is its side, not its butt.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes.
Yes.
See, I'm not the one with a heal modifier of +12. So.
But yes, that was a medical / horse anatomy
it
joke.
doesn't pay close enough. It isn't pay close enough attention to chats when people talk about that.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Because inevitably, in a brony community, you start talking about horses and misconceptions and crap.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's true. All the ponies are blank flanks. All of them.
All of them. You can
Because
never
the cutie marks are not on their flank. Oh my god.
Yes, but on a children's show, you can't go on about their rumps.
Ring Dancer stands up and she goes over to like the small.
Pretty sure they can say blank butt. Blank butt. Blank butt.
Goes over to the small fridge that fridge like esque device. It's more of like a little cooler where it's just kind of mounted on the wall. He opens it. Kind of gasps a little bit as there's just like it looks like a fresh like bit of Jello is just in there in perfect shape. The personal Jello. Kind of takes it out. Ooh.
I mean, who doesn't like a personal jello?
She sets it on the counter, and to this, Beautiful kind of stands up. Wow. Goes over to it. Poke. Wiggle. Poke.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
I can't feel it. And she just kind of looks a little sad.
Little spouse.
You cut out there, sorry.
Little Spout is confused. Goes over and pokes Beautiful. Can you feel this?
And she didn't look over until like you had spoken. Huh? What? No. She crosses her.
Could you feel things before?
I remember.
When did you stop feeling things?
She kind of thinks. She seems to actually be in a fairly thoughtful like
The Jeopardy music is playing right now.
Yeah. She just has one of her paws to her chin. Can't quite remember. I've been in that cave for so long.
I think you need a doctor too.
Why do I need a doctor? And she kind of thumps her chest. Thump.
Well, I'm getting fat and you can't feel things. That sounds like a good reason to see a doctor.
She kind of she just wiggles one of her paws. I'm made of stone. It makes sense.
I mean, sort of, except you remember feeling things before, which makes that not work.
Do you think maybe she... I'm going to mutter to possibly... it was Yzdel that was in the died, right? With the...
Died-ish?
With the family thing?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure I remember correctly. I'm probably going to mutter to you and say, are you sure maybe she just doesn't feel something and so she can't?
I use prestidigitation on her rump and heat up her rump.
She doesn't even notice you doing it. She's more paid attention on little.
Also, it's basically just like shining a warm lamp in somebody's direction. It's like, what are you
doing?
doing?
I do the opposite and make it cold.
Oh,
now in a slightly different spot.
Now you just put like a cold towel up against them. Oh, that's rude.
She still seems focused on Little Spout. Doesn't seem to have like noticed at all.
But yes, Little Spout, ever the doer, is already trying to drag her away. Come on, we gotta find a good doctor.
Oh my gosh! She just kind of like, she stands up, like upon you giving her a pull. I mean, it might seem like you're super strong, but she starts walking with you.
Little Spout is so proud. She is strong as little pony.
My mom, and she kind of rolls her eyes.
Yes, I am one of those. I mean, I guess I will be one of those.
Candlelight is still in the background, like poking at you. And this is where your liver is, and this is where your spleen is.
Look, if you see something weird, you'll freak out. So let's let somebody who's not involved look, and they can just say something like, Oh, it looks like you're dying, and they won't even be that very impressed about it.
And he kind of crosses himself again. I don't think you trust me.
Nope.
She tilts her head. For this? No, I don't. I still love you, though.
He looks conflicted. There was a compliment in there, and and he just like a little couple sparks just kind of flow from his nose, like and he just turns back. Fine.
I'll come back with goody news, or maybe not good news. Whatever the news is, I'll come back with it.
Okay, fine.
And you sit here and think about being a future dad. Ooh.
He looks very thoughtful suddenly, and then very scared, and then very happy.
Then right back to scared.
Yeah. Alrighty, so where are you guys going?
I guess I'm asking around to find the closest physician.
Ah.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the closest physicians are actually going to be in this H building.
Haha, I am so charming. People will want to tell me. Where is it?
It's this. Let me roll that one.
Oh, it's back in the wizard place. Well,
Yes.
fortunately, we have little name tags now, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Even Beautiful has one, funnily enough.
Hooray! She was on the team, wasn't she?
So have we arrived by this point? Or did Little Spout just pass us going out the door?
Oh, I figured you guys were just all. Yeah, I mean, you would pass Little Spout on the way to the door if you guys hadn't arrived yet. I figured.
I'm getting a checkup.
I heard you guys went to the inn, so I just assumed you guys assumed you were there.
So if you yell out, you're getting a checkup. Start answer yells back, "Go talk to Notley."
Go talk to who now?
No.
The hippogriff.
Is he a doctor?
She's literally a midwife.
Oh, well, isn't that convenient? Except Little Spot doesn't know where she is, so she's going to go to the place she heard has doctors. Whee!
Probably the correct place anyway.
Alrighty, hang on one second. Alright, so you do pass Beautiful, funnily enough, going with Little Spout. And
I'll let the rest of the party do things.
Yep.
Okay.
Candlelight is still remaining in the room, looking scared, happy, not scared, shocked. A variety of different emotions.
You ever see one of those arts where it's like one person with all the emotions? He's doing that.
Alrighty, what are the rest of you guys doing as Star Dancer kind of thump on the door?
And I just, open it because I imagine I have a key.
Oh yeah, because you don't have a key, Star Dancer. I was right for this one. Haha.
Yep. I would be following up before knocking while he's taking out the key. Anyway.
Well,
So
you are met with a dark fire.
stretching.
Darkfire is stretching.
Sorry, I should have done it before I went walking all the way back here.
Ring Dancer looks as if
Alright.
that is incredibly cute.
I give her a glare.
He gives you a shrug. Fight me.
Anyway, so Miss Ivory Drop was not in her apartment today or last night, and I have an idea of why. Actually, I don't have an idea. I know why.
She doesn't? Why?
Okay, so
Wait, how many nights ago?
last night,
Last night
Or
I don't
this
know where she
morning.
was.
yes. So, here's where I'll begin. We were at the game yesterday, participating, and I happened to notice there were 2 Ivory Drops in the arena.
What?
When Ivory Drop first came onto the field, I happened to notice in the stands, the Ivory Drop we had just met was being led away by our old friend Onk. And, well,
Wait, who?
that,
What do you mean,
That,
Ankh?
as in the
Remind me who Ankh
Sphinx.
is?
No. I know who you're talking about. What do you mean, Ankh? I thought he left to go back to his library.
He did. And Ankh is that Sphinx who was with us for a while and then left.
You mean the Sphinx librarian? Yeah, he works in the
Oh.
library.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
We're using old. Okay. Old characters coming back. Okay, sorry.
No, not the library here. He works in a different library. He works in his own library.
Yeah, yes. Well, anyway.
Okay, but he also works in the library here.
Okay, we'll get to that moment in
guess
just
that-
a bit. I had no idea. Well, anyway, as it would turn out, the ivory drop on the field was making one of the other players sick, so she could be on the field for heavens knows.
Wait.
what reason.
The ivory drop not on the field was doing this?
The ivory drop on the field.
Okay.
That is not the same ivory drop we just met. She seemed older, and she also had that love note that you had.
Well, I mean, ivory drop has the love note right now.
This is true.
What?
But anyway, Lazar is realizing what you said is true. However, the point is there were 2 ivory drops in the arena. After the game was over, I chased down this ivory drop on the field to maybe have a chat with her and talk. However, after a short conversation, she opened what seemed to be a crack in reality and left to some cave in a desert, which I now believe is...
Sorry, Steady Shoot is saying wait a lot.
Yeah.
And you just keep going. He's like, wait, what? Wait, what?
Oh, come
Wait,
on, I've
what?
done
And
this
you never
for a
stop,
while.
so he's never going to stop saying it.
Well, I figure I'll get all the information out, and then I can go back and clarify.
Okay. Well, I'm probably going to still keep saying wait. but-
He just keeps double
No, I know,
taking.
in
Wait,
character.
what? Wait, what? Like...
Wait, what? Wait, what? I don't understand what.
But
Okay,
anyway,
anyway, keep going,
so after she disappeared, I went searching for the other ivory drop, who also had disappeared. So, fast forward, a few drinks were taken and whatnot. Well, this morning, I went to the divination school, the divination room, I should say, and cast a couple scrying spells to see if I could find her. The first time I did this, the scrying spell was on the older, we'll say, ivory drop, and she was walking away from what I could tell to be Stratham, that one desert city. That's a little far away from me.
I can bring you guys
And-
to the big map if you need.
And so watched her for a good little while. However, she didn't seem to do much. Though I'm not sure if she could sense me or not, as she kept looking over her shoulder. So I cast it again, and this time I was shown a different ivory drop. This one was the one we had just met, and she was in a library, being led through it by Ankh. And he told her, and one of the few things I can remember him telling her is that she had to stay here and she could work on her studies here, but she could not be allowed to see herself. Which I assume to be the older version he is talking about. And so that's pretty much a shortened version of everything that's happened that I've seen over the last 24 hours. Any questions?
Wait, what?
What? There are 2. Okay. There are more ivory drops.
And Ring Dancer from the back goes.
I couldn't hear that. You cut out.
Oh, she just goes ooh in your general direction, Steady Shoot.
Oh yeah, that's right. The party theoretically knows that, right?
I mean, it depends on what their sense motive was. I just know Ring Dancer made it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. I got it. What do I got? It. Thanks. Yes. Good job.
What is the frequency of time magic being researched in the university?
What is the what?
How often does time magic get researched?
If it is research, it's usually researched in the central building, though it isn't like too common of a study. Typically the university doesn't allow it except for like really high majoring students for the sole purpose that messing with time is always a bad thing.
Thank you. That's the information I needed.
No.
Okay,
something
so
else I should mention.
where is Ivory Drop now?
Well, she's either in a library filled with sphinxes, or she's also in the city of Stratham, last I saw.
Well, which ivory drop are we talking about at this point? Because one's in the soul prison, one is in Stratham, and one's in the library.
Wait, there's a third?
The one in the soul prison.
That
This
was.
seems like a mess.
I mean, I thought I understood that one.
So now we
Pretty
have...
much from what I understand, there's some sort of time continuum break that leads to there being three
Right,
ivory
right.
drops, one in time, one in a soul prison, one in a library, and one going to Stratham.
Oh, I have more information. Ivory Drop, the one at school that was going to school. It seems like she fits in with school. Was the Ivory Drop that we... Hold on. Was the Ivory Drop that we... Hold on. Was the Ivory Drop that... I can actually ask the players this. Hold on. Okay, I'm done. Wait, which Ivory Drop was on the field? The younger one or the older one?
The older one, very much so, the older one. I tried asking her questions, but she was more mature, we'll say. She seemed
So-
far more cautious.
The younger one, which I think I spent time... Which is the one I met, was making golems. The same golems we saw in the tunnel.
Yes.
As in, literally, she had decided to change from one of the type of golems to the second one.
Wait. So
And she had made her first golem of the second type, of which we saw, I think we saw two of them.
You saw 3 technically, I believe.
We saw 3. She made her first golem of the second type, of which we saw 3.
Didn't you say that, or she say, or someone say that she was working on a prototype?
This is
So,
why no one messes with time spells.
Either we are in the past now, or the cavern is in the future.
Or pieces, like the golems, are from the future, or they were placed there in the past.
Yes.
yes to all of your theories.
What is my...
And I thought Ivory Drop, who's currently trapped in a soul prism, is from the future.
But then
Older her.
if we're looking at this, is the one in the soul prison the older? Or is she the one that was on the field? Or is she between the one we met and the one that was on the field, or is she the latest one?
Why did she go on the field? Why was she there? You said she deliberately, stopped another person from coming on the field, right?
Yes, like when after Yzdel here killed 3 of them, or 2 of them, or whatever, and knocked one of them out, the one that was only knocked out was throwing up after being healed. And so they brought her onto the field. But I can, looking back, I realized she was purposefully making him sick with a spell.
Was the oldest one the one that went onto the field?
It was the older one. But we're not sure. Is it if we put them in a young, middle, and old? What we don't know is if the one on the field was middle or old, because either one of those can be the one that was apparently in this soul prison.
But what if the one that came onto the field was one that was old, and was? What I'm saying is, what if the one that came onto the field was trying to throw the game, so that we could go help her as her younger self?
But we don't.
Why would it matter if we lost? Didn't matter if we lost. There was no reason. No one cared if we won or lost. Little Spout's not here, right?
Right.
I care! Comes drifting across the entire city.
No one cared if we win or lost. Little Spout's not here, right?
Just everybody kind of like look around, take looks out the windows and through the doors.
Yeah, we met Ivory. I met Ivory Drop, and then we met Ivory Drop. Like without that, we didn't need to win to meet Ivory Drop.
At this point, well, no, Beautiful went with never mind. Beautiful went with Little Spout.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents about the situation.
No, I can definitely agree. I see 2 options before us. One, we can go to the library and speak with this Ankh, who apparently works here. And we can also go back to the caverns to speak with the golems again.
We could do that. Someone should find Ivory Drop. And I understand this is not a particularly simple request, even if we could get to Ivory Drop with nothing else.
Ring Dancer from the back goes, "Yeah, get him his girlfriend back."
Well, yes, I agree that it's important we find Miss Ivory Drop, but it's the steps we're going to take to get there. And I feel that Ankh is our best key to that right now.
While you guys are
okay, we saw him. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, while you guys are deciding on that, we will give Little Spout and Beautiful their turn. Oh.
Meanwhile,
yes, you guys
back at the ranch.
You guys happen upon the hospital. It is a typically white and red building, though the red on the building kind of bands through like looking up to the building. It's about halfway up the building's height, and it just kind of bands around the building. There seems to be like on the ground just like a couple emergency carts with attachments for sphinxes to just kind of run out to go like for emergencies and things, though they don't seem to be in use, thankfully.
Well, Little Spot is pretty sure that neither of them are having a dire emergency, and so they would just float in the front door.
Here. If you have any mild poisons or alcohols in you, you would feel the effects go away, but I'm not sure if you do or not.
Little Spout has been alcohol-free. And now she'll be extra alcohol-free.
You just feel refreshed as you kind of walk in. And
I feel I should point out she did actually drink some alcohol like way before this. But like way before this.
Oh, I've been keeping track. So you walk into the building, and the smell is pleasant. I mean, it's a hospital. They keep it nice and clean and well lit. There's a couple nurses that are just kind of going back and forth. You could tell that they're clerical, and funnily enough, at least about 50% of them specifically seem to be in garbs that would denotate them as in training, so students for the most part. The others that are kind of going around and leading them, showing them all the different parts of the hospital and explaining things are like more in their in official doctors' outfits. You particularly notice that in certain groups of students, they all seem to have the same like theme to their garbs. It's clear just from looking around that this is definitely a place where lots of different gods are accepted in the arts of healing.
Little Spout looks for some lashed out and holy symbols. Where are those hearts, yo?
There seems to be a very small collection, just in the very back, of, well, funnily enough, a couple short hooves, and somewhat of a. He's still clearly a short hooves, but he's a little bit taller than the other ones, and seems to be kind of showing them around and kind of bouncing up and down, doing, doing, doing.
He's a tall slice of a shortcake.
Yes. But there is also additionally with that in the back, the very obvious front counter to the I guess to check in would be the term if you were here with a patient or something or wanted to go visit somebody.
Little Spout will try to play by the rules and go up to the front desk. She looks for a bell to ring.
The bell is up on the counter. That is not your height. Unless you're floating, then it's your height.
Float. Ding.
Ding. And she looks over. Oh, hello. Kind of waves. She's a unicorn. Well, unicorn. Kind of a whitish coat. He has like a very one of those kind of stereotypical little old hospital hats on. Welcome to the hospital. Are you in need to check in, or are you visiting?
I have been blessed by my goddess, which means I need to see one of my priests/doctors to tell me that I'm going to be a mom and that everything is working out. Meanwhile, she's like spins in the air and points at Beautiful. I think she's a statue and she can't feel anything, but she used to be able to feel things, so either she wasn't a statue before or something's wrong. Could you please figure that out? Thank you.
And Beautiful, kind of caught off guard by that, just kind of, huh? What? Oh, and she picks up her whatever paws. I'm sick, Doc. She looks toward the doctor. And she looks up. Oh, it's okay. We'll get you guys checked in.
She's not sick. She's just numb. I guess that counts as sick. Either way.
Beautiful kind of makes like the ground rumble a little bit as she kind of rolls over. Oh, woe is me, thump.
Wow.
And
be good, and I'll give you a belly rub when you can actually feel it.
Her eyes open. Okay. She sits up. She sits up, acting good, and the nurse kind of gives a little laugh, and looks around her desk and eventually pulls out a couple of clipboards. One she kind of hands to you. Upon the clipboard is kind of the symbol of like a heart in one of the upper corners. Doesn't seem to be many like names upon it, but it just says it says check in, and above that like in bigger words just Lushtaden priest, or for the Lushtaden priest, and you are more than free to sign the check in if you wish. She looks toward the Sphinx. And she kind of tilts her head. Do you have anybody in particular you would like to see? She's just kind of eyeing upward. Not really.
I would suggest whoever's really good at curses to start with.
And she kind of leans under her desk and pulls out. We'll have you speak with the unspoken doctors.
They're so good they can't talk about it. Little Spout basically fills out her forms.
And you fill out the forms, and she Beautiful tries to pick up the very tiny pen. I got it. Oh.
You have to use your mouth.
And she kind of, she shows you her paws. I've always used my claws. I can hold things.
But it's so small. Look, see, even I have to hold it in my mouth. Scribble, 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 scribble.
And she tilts her head left and right. I've never written like that. I would have terrible handwriting. Oh, mouth.
That's
writing.
okay. I have terrible handwriting too. Scribble, 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 scribble.
And the nurse just kind of she doesn't really roll her eyes like in like the annoyed sense. It's just like the oh my, and she kind of takes the pen. I'll write down your name. What's your name? She kind of thinks. Not a statue. Oh wait, no, it's Beautiful. I'm Beautiful. She goes, yes, you are. What's your name, miss? I'm Beautiful. She looks confused by the statement.
Her name is Beautiful, calls out Little Spout, destroying the comedy skit.
Oh. This is she starts writing down. Beautiful. That's a very beautiful name. She looks very happy. All right, they'll be with you. They'll be with you shortly. And she kind of gestures to you, little spout. You're actually one of the first short hooves in today. So they'll be with you. They'll be with you sooner than her.
You were about to say.
Momentarily.
You were about to say shortly, weren't you? She says, waggling her brows.
She blushes. No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were. It's okay. It was actually a good joke.
No, she gives a little laugh and directs you guys to like the little waiting chairs if you would so wish.
Now I'm picturing her just kind of floating over the chair. It's so comfortable.
Perfect. All right, back at the hotel while Little Spout is waiting for her doctor.
Doctor, it hurts when I do this. Well, stop doing that.
Yeah, just a question. Is it Eccleston, Tennant, or Smith?
I don't know. You'll have to find out.
Not sure. There's two more after that.
Yeah, I just can't remember I remember Capaldi, but I can't remember the next one's name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
What are you guys doing?
So I vote that we head to the library. To find Punk. Whether he's the same one or not.
Okay.
Is it?
Well, feel free to move yourselves to the library. Also, I can hear typing from whoever is typing.
Sorry, should I stop typing?
Oh no, I was just saying
Yes.
we could hear you in the background, like if you wanted to mess with your.
Oh yeah, this is the library. huh?
Yeah.
At least it's not one of those physical keyboards. Clack, 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 clack.
Mechanical?
clack.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a.
The gym of my other game has that problem.
You mean like this?
No, why? What did I ever do to you?
Alrighty, so you guys start heading to the library. The library itself was just as it was the day before. Though, funnily enough, as you kind of approach it, you could start hearing a little bit of, like almost just a quieted song coming from the very top, but from like a lot of instruments of the place, unlike the day before.
Oh. They're practicing on the roof today, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Bards.
Bards indeed. For those who hadn't seen the library yet, outside of the library, symbols of eyes are kind of carved into the stone that look outward toward the students. You know, like the Egyptian symbols. You gotta stick with the sphinxes, right? And,
Yeah.
I mean, only if you can walk like them.
And walking into the library, you were actually greeted by the same, well, not really greeted, but like in front at the, I guess the middle kind of librarian's desk, is that same Sphinx that you talked to the day before. She seemed to have at least been there the entire time that you've been there, and she doesn't seem at all tired. She's still kind of enraptured in one of the books she's reading on her desk. Who all hasn't been there, so I can let you know what you see.
Me.
Oh, I thought you went the day before. No, that was Yzdel and
Nope.
Ring Dancer. Gotcha. Darkfire then. And I'll describe this for you as well, Star Dancer, even though you've been here. Walk in, there seems to be rows upon rows of different types of books and subjects that seem to be all like labeled categorically, and you've been in here long enough to recognize it as Sphinx. Don't really have anything in common. I mean, the books themselves obviously have common content. It's just the way that they organize these books on the shelves is definitely in a Sphinx language. Walking into the library itself, there's definitely the smell of a library. Old pages on books. It's not musty like a really old one. It's just a very papery smell about it. It's definitely a place of study. And then everywhere you kind of look, you could see sphinxes left and right, just kind of in study, and unicorns as well. Though, funnily enough, looking up toward the center, it's kind of like it rings around, somewhat like the divination building, with the different shelves, and you can kind of look up into some of the other floors. And the higher that you seem to kind of look up, the less and less sphinxes that there seems to be in people in study. So it seems like these would be like the more generalized studies, just from a first glance. That is the initial. Just kind of walk in. This is what you see. So what you guys doing?
I kind of walk up to the desk. Excuse me.
Oh, yes.
I had a quick question. I'm looking for someone, actually.
Ah, who are you looking for?
I believe he's an employee. His name is Onk.
Ooh, Onk. And she looks down like looks down like under the table and kind of pulls out a small piece of paper. Let's see. Onk. Oh, I'm afraid you missed him. He was on the schedule a couple of days ago, but he seems to have requested all this week off.
Oh, okay. Oh, darn shame.
And she kind of looks up a little inquisitively. Well, they say curiosity killed the Sphinx, but mind if I ask why?
Oh, he's just an old acquaintance, and I was in town, and my friends and I were, and we figured might as well pop in and say hello.
I could certainly try to ring his rock phone. Kind of holds up like the same kind of little phone that you've seen Star Dancer using and a couple around the campus.
With this, you can reach out and touch someone.
Oh. Oh, no, it's fine. I'll just catch him some other time. I wouldn't want to trouble you and take you away from your book there.
And she looks down. Oh, this old thing. I've read it a billion times.
Although, I'm not sure if you're allowed to tell me, but do you know where he is? Like, perhaps where his apartment is? I could pop in and say hello?
I don't think he actually has one. She kind of considers a little
Just
bit.
sleeps in the library?
She kind of, she looks a little shifty, in a manner of speaking.
I wish I knew this in character.
I say you wouldn't happen to know if he's gone anywhere, would you?
She kind of, she looks up and she kind of thinks a little bit. I have an inkling, but that's nothing more.
Well, what's your inkling?
Well, I mean, I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh, come on, you can tell his friends as I roll diplomacy check.
Yes, please do. Don't let me roll
I
a
am letting
diplomacy
you
check.
handle this because
That was a 5.
Welcome to my world. All right.
Hey, you want to know what a 5 would have been for me? 5.
He's gonna get good, fam.
Oh yeah, I don't see you noticing things.
Well, if you can prove to me that you do know him and you are friends, I can certainly let you in on that information. I respect his privacy and I wish to keep it so. Kind of nods.
Actually,
I don't suppose we still have the password marks on us, do we?
No, those only last 30 days.
How
Wait,
many
has it been
days
30 days?
It has definitely not been 30 days. You guys have just had those arcane marks on you for like the longest time, unless you erase
Right.
No, I don't think I have.
We
actually
didn't
did.
waste magic. Why would we waste magic doing that?
I mean, you never know when it might come in use again.
I mean, if
Star
we
Dancer
have
would
like
usually go
days
race a lot,
down,
like-
yeah. If we have days down or extra slots at the end of a day, it's no big deal. But
So what do you are you guys showing her anything or?
I'll let Yzdel handle this one.
Out of character DM,
Mhm.
what would I have that wouldn't be in my inventory that's from him? Because I know there was stuff that happened between the two of us. I don't remember everything that happened. Besides sharing fried fish a lot.
Well, other than that, like that is for you to know and to show me. Aha, you have an inventory, yeah?
I don't ever put like trinkets in my inventory. Even though I should.
I don't believe you guys have
Um,
ever shared trinkets.
Actually, we have a Discord for this. Give me a second. I have a Discord channel for this.
We do, don't we?
I see how it is.
Where did it go?
Oh,
Here it is.
Not there. Oh wait, didn't we get rings before he left the party? Or was that after?
Those rings were ones that you guys found clearing out the secondary houses. They weren't from Onk specifically.
I know, but did Ankh grab one before the party split?
No, actually. Did ask him. He didn't actually take a ring.
Pull an old and opening the old memory chest box to figure out what all Ankh did.
I turned around and said, "Well, I don't have anything from him, but he was an arcanist. I know that much. I remember that much about him. He talked a bit about his library all the time."
Oh, this library? And she kind of looks almost a little, like, kind of shocked.
Either this library or his personal library. He didn't mention working here.
Yeah, I was actually surprised until Star Dancer here was like, "Oh, he's an employee here,
Oh, well,
or a volunteer."
We know Star Dancer very well, and she kind of waves. And it is
Wave.
she is a familiar sight. You may not know her by name, but she does occasionally rotate Onk from the times that you had been in here.
I kind of look around on myself. Do I still, just to make sure, do I still actually see the mark on me?
Yeah. I mean, it's faint. He didn't make it like blaringly like obvious. It's just kind of like opacity sent to 10, like.
Yeah.
Like pretty much is what it looks like. But it's there.
All right.
And
I kind of.
feel free to give me a small perception check, really quick. Mr. Looking around all the time.
Sarcasm will bite you in the ass.
Oh, that was a six.
I mean, you see that that very same hippogriff from the day before, black one, the small penguin, just kind of he's not looking at you guys, but it's clear that he's trying to eavesdrop, but his ears are just kind of flickering left and right. Oh, his little ear feathers rather. He's about 30 feet away from you guys total.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind for now.
Sweet.
All right. So I find the mark and I try to show it to her. This was actually a mark from not too long ago that he drew for us. It was to help us get past a certain kind of barrier.
Looks at left and
I'm
right.
sure you can recognize his handiwork.
Well, I could certainly recognize it's a spell. I can't really recognize that it's him. It is very nice handwriting, though. What does it
Yes.
do? She looks like curiously. She is actually taking your paw, and she like brings you forward a little bit, kind of makes you stumble a tad.
Which one of us?
Me.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does it do?
It's like a passcode of sorts.
Ooh. Wow, that is kind of advanced. He looks up. That'd be like fourth floor book stuff. And she
Yes,
releases
yes,
your
says he.
paw. Oh, sorry.
No problem. Does he spend a lot of time on the 4th floor?
He spends a lot of time on the 5th and 6th floors, funnily enough.
Player to DM, she's a Sphinx, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool, cool. Well, alrighty. Anyway, I just take a step back as deep in thought.
Deeply in thought.
And I'll kind of nudge Yzdel and perhaps like Start Answer, whoever, and just be kind of like looking over at this penguin hippogriff. Be like, I'll be right back.
And with that BRB, we go over to Little Spout and Beautiful. And you are starting to be approached by that rather jumpy looking doctor. She's kind of leading the throng of her students around, who seem to be just kind of giggling behind her. Giggling behind her as if like they think her mannerisms are silly, but like they are also kind of being a little jumpy and bouncy, as somewhat similar to you, actually, Little Spout. And,
Little Spout shall wave excitedly, caught in the middle of the jump that never ends.
and upon waving, she kind of turns her head, and you get a better look at her face. She's definitely a little bit older. Upon her robe is just written the word Pomfrey, and she casually waves over to you. Oh, hello, dear.
Hello.
Oh, are you the one who checked in? Oh, glorious, glorious day. Students, look, we have a patient. And they all collectively go, yay!
Anybody
Well, I
here
mean,
need their bones regrown?
I'm not always patient, but I guess today I can make an exception.
Ooh, if you're not patient, then we must get on. Come on, come. And she starts, like, gesturing towards you.
And so Little Spout floats over.
Beautiful just casually kind of waves, almost a little sad behind you. Bye.
Don't worry, they'll take care of you. I'll be back.
I believe you. As her voice fades away as they're taking you away. Wee. Oh my gosh, do you have a case of the floats? Oh, we could solve that right now. And she's like pulling you along.
Oh, I don't have to float. And just suddenly, boom, right to the ground.
Oh my. You must be one of those adventurers. Students, we have an adventurer. And they all once again go, yeah. They're cheering you on.
You see, my problem doesn't have to do with adventuring, though.
Oh, please do tell. And she stops, and all of her students just kind of gather around you, and they're all blinking their eyes, like blink, 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 blink.
Well, I mean, it's not very mysterious. I mean, but when a boy pony and a girl pony like each other a lot, then they do things, and then this happens, and she waves at her midsection.
And a couple of the students, they faint with like these like just kind of faint, like, and Miss Palmtree just kind of oh my goodness, this is indeed a special occasion. Oh wow! And she just kind of starts jumping up and down. Follow me! And she takes a sharp like left turn down a hallway she didn't look like she was originally going to go down. And a couple of the students say, like, kind of hold up a hoof. Wait! And they kind of slap awake the ones that fell over. Okay, we're ready. And then they start trotting up.
Little Sprout gently lifts about an inch into the air, then zips after him.
And give me a small reflex save, because she's kind of bouncing up towards your height as she's kind of going along. She kind of stops suddenly. Very nice. You stop. You stop. You don't run into her, and she kind of stops. Oh, I think this is the one. She kind of looks over. Yep. And she kind of she looks up, and she actually has to go on like her two back hooves to try to like read like the little name on the thing. But hooves, yes. Parental, yes, okay. And then she kind of opens the door. Inside we go. And
so inside we go.
Whee! And you enter, and it's kind of not characteristic of the rest of the hospital, because as you enter, the wallpaper has like hearts, and seems to like around the height of what you'd know a baby short hooves to look like, are a bunch of small crayon drawings up on the wall and like different like height markers and things like that. Like that seem to be drawn by adolescents, and there's a couple beds around, though none of them seem to be occupied or anything like that, as well as a couple strange monitor-looking sheets of almost like a plastic material. Kind of gestures onto one of the beds. Come on, up here, up here. Tell me what ails you. Well, ails you. I wouldn't say it's an ailment, but tell me about it.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm not sick at all. In fact, I feel fine. Perfectly fine. But I just want to make sure that everything's okay.
Oh, okay. Certainly. And she looks back to the students. Students. Okay, I need you to pay attention. And they all, at like the same time, pull out from like the small bags that they're carrying. Like all pull out notepads. Okay. Gotta be quiet for this one. Looks over. We'll wake the babies. You go, oh, okay. Start writing that down. She kind of presses an ear up to your belly, listening.
There's a lot of fur in the way.
It's very fluffy. Ooh, yes. I can't hear anything. She nods. And
Little Spout applies a hoof to her face. Plump.
she says, no matter. Give me one moment. And she kind of like almost as fast as you fly, she just kind of zips out of the room. And a couple moments later, the little hooves come back, and
Is she an adventurer too?
And like as she's out of the room, they look back. I hope so. And a couple of them start like gossiping and stuff like that. Is she an adventurer? Oh my gosh! And then they just seemed really excited. Wow, she's so cool. And she comes clopping back, clop. And she has it's kind of like she has two sticks in her ears and a little almost kind of speaker-esque device in one of her hooves. All right. She goes up to you. Now stay still. She presses it into your fur.
That's cold.
She kind of starts searching around. Whoa. I hear something. Do you hear it? She looks to you. Oh, no, you don't have these. Here. She holds it where it is, and she kind of gives you those sticks to put in your ears.
I'm just imagining Little Spout like holding out her hooves as if like a reminder that she does not have fingers.
And she kind of shakes her head. Oh, silly me. And she gestures over to one of her students. Can you help? Of course. And they kind of she kind of just jumps up and helps you put them in your ears. And you do hear you hear your heartbeat first of all through it, I mean out of character, obviously it's got a stethoscope.
I figured that.
You hear your heartbeat, though more irregularly. You kind of you hear the little almost movements and thumps coming that are definitely not from from your own movements or bodily functions.
And that is when Little Spout squeals, ooh, I'm a mother. Wait, am I technically a mother yet? I'm gonna be a mother. Woo!
And as you go woo, like all the others like start to go woo, like with you, like and they're very happy.
It's a woo party.
And upon like the third woo, it's almost like she couldn't even help herself. She just kind of raises one of her own hooves. Woo!
Are these all short legs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, okay.
and they are all happy for the circle of life.
And she finishes up with her stethoscope works, and she looks at you. Yep. You are due to be a mother. This is confirmed. And she looks to her students. Write that down, students. Confirmed for motherhood.
Do you know how long it's gonna take, and how big am I gonna be?
Ooh.
Like, are we talking like a little pudge, or am I gonna like be like a little floating blimp?
And rather than asking her rather than answering like you herself, she turns to her students. Who could answer that for Mrs.? She looks at the chart. Little Spout. I think. Did I read that right? She turns it upside down. Yes, Little Spout.
Little Spout tilts her head. Well, I mean, technically, if you're gonna use Mrs., it would be Mrs. Spout.
Ooh. And they all start writing that down, but like one of them kind of raises her hooves. Ooh, me, I know. She goes, yes, flower. She points to you. She points to her. If I'm not mistaken, she thinks about 10 months. 10 months.
10 months from now, or 10 months from when we did things?
Ooh, do you not know? And they all like kind of gasp. like
I
all-
just found out it happened.
And then they gasp again, though it's a happier gasp. Congratulations, says one.
Yay!
And the student chimes in. It should be 10 months from when it happens. And Mrs. Pomfrey kind of goes over to the students. She pulls out from her own bag like a small, it almost seems like stamp, kind of thump under her forehead. The big letter A appears on her forehead. Good job! You get an A for the lesson today. She looks extremely happy with herself. And she looks back to you, Spout. What other questions did you have?
I just had to check that, just out of curiosity. Apparently, yeah, miniature horses are just pregnant for just as long as great big old draft horses. Go figure. That's just how horses are built.
A horse is a horse,
right?
of course, of course.
Yes. Anyway, but little Spout nods. All right, and everything looks like it's good?
And she kind of laughs. Well, we haven't looked, silly. And she kind of waves her hoof as if like this was obvious.
Oh.
We just heard. Do you want to look?
Well, begin the looking, she says, throwing up her hooves.
And she takes your hoof in her own. Follow me! And she starts trailing you out of the room again.
I am now picturing like a very Willy Wonka-esque song as we go.
And she's
Come
pulling
with me, and we'll see a miracle of luck creation.
And she's trailing you along. Whee! And her students are kind of thumping like behind her, like occasionally tripping because it's a hospital floor and it's very slippery. And thump 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 because it's tiled.
Little Spot has the advantage there. Flip, flip, flip.
Yeah. And once again, she stops rather suddenly. Though with your modifier, I'm not even going to have you roll a reflex save with this one. And she stops. Aha! We've gotten here. She looks toward her class and then to you and goes, just holds up a hoof. Shh! You gotta be quiet in this room. And the students go, ooh, okay.
Little Spot is confused, but keeps her mouth closed.
He kind of peeks open the door.
The question mark over her head is growing alarmingly.
And as the door kind of peeks open, it's a lot darker inside. Though, like above certain parts of the room on the ceiling, you can clearly notice that there's like a blue light that seems to be shining from something below on the ground. And just opening the door a little bit further, there seems to be other sphinxes in here that are very clearly pregnant, though with doctors around them. And beneath the blue lights that are kind of shining up to the ceiling are like different ones of the same kind of scrying pools that you had seen before. And she kind of leads you in. All right, come on. We gotta go find a free one. She kind of
Little Spot leans in. Are you going to just spy on my insides? That's cool.
Yeah. Isn't it awesome? And she kind of like taps her hooves, plop, 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 and a couple of the other doctors just like look at her. Shh. Oh, sorry. She keeps going on. All right. And she kind of gestures to one of the beds.
Why are they being so quiet? They should be happy.
We don't want to wake up the baby, silly.
Oh, wait, they're not here
I
yet.
don't think it works like that.
Shh. And she starts with like a hoof up. She's like shh, 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 like on your face. And then she goes like to your belly. Shh, 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 shh. They'll hear you. And then she kind of leads you to a bed. All right, sit up here.
So she floats up there and actually sits down.
And as you kind of sit up there, her students like all crowd around her bed. And I mean, it's like a shorter bed. Like it's actually meant for a short hooves. And they all crowd around your bed. And they're just all blinking and like looking at you and occasionally tilting their heads and fluffing their ears. And none of them are asking any questions, but like the nurse just kind of went off and not really a more secured part of the room where she had to like, kind of put her hoof up on the place. Comes out a moment later and she seems to have a scroll in her in her mouth, and she's just like.
Yep. She's little spout shall not.
And she looks over to the scrying pool, and then she opens the scroll and then closes it again. Ooh, forgot I need one of these. And she goes over to you, and like without warning, she just boing, out of like a hair out of your head. Donk, just a little one. I just need one of these.
Wow.
Oh no, it's fine. I promise it'll be a lot worse later on. And she turns around.
Little spout sticks out her tongue so hard.
And as quiet as it is in the room, she steps over toward the scrying pool, and she starts speaking. Though as she like gets up onto her hind legs to kind of speak into it, you suddenly kind of like stop hearing her altogether, just for a second. But you can clearly hear her, like see her mouth moving as she kind of opens the scroll, and magic starts happening, and like a couple hairs on your own body start like standing up on end. And you can certainly fail the will save willingly if you still wish, or you can make the will save. That is up to you, little spout.
Little spout is not trying to make the doctor's life more difficult.
That is fair. And you kind of feel this almost just like kind of presence behind you just for a second, and then more internally. And then the blue light from the scrying pool kind of turns a much darker color. And she kind of gestures over to you, little spout. Like she you can't really hear her, but she's gesturing, and she's trying to say "come on." You could see that upon her lips. She kind of gestures you over, pointing to the pool. And all of her students kind of like look back, and they all start crowding around the pool as well. You could tell that they are just like, it's like one of the coolest things that they've ever seen.
Little spout can't miss this.
And as you kind of, if you're getting up to go peep, then I presume, yeah.
Yes, floating occurs.
Whee, and you float over all the students around the edge of the pool, and like out of character, what you are effectively seeing is an ultrasound of yourself, and the doctor herself is just like clip clopping her hose, clip clop, clip clop, and as you kind of go over the pool, you could start to hear her again. Ooh, look! She kind of points to one part of the pool that kind of ripples a little bit. Look! There's a little hoof, and all of the students just kind of go ooh, and one of them takes out their like a notepad to start writing something down. And there's a hoof, and there's another one. She kind of points to a third one, and a fourth right there. And then
I'll point out that horse hooves are actually really weird before they're born.
Yeah, and they're just all. I mean, like to you who are not a trained medical professional, at least I don't think you are. It's more just a lots of different blobs, but to them it seems like the most amazing thing in the world. And then she like suddenly the doctor just kind of puts a hoof to her face. Wait, she kind of points inward. Is that a fifth? And all their students kind of gasp. Starts pointing to different parts of the 5, 6, 7, 8. It is. She looks up to you. Do you know what this means? And all of her students go, "Oh my gosh!" And they all start cheering.
I am having the most special child ever. Little spell tilts her head.
And she holds up a hoof. Not one. And all of the students start like chanting, two, twins, and they just all like start like flopping over
and that's when it's little spout's turn. Shh.
Oh, they can't hear us. And they looked like none of the the doctors were like some of the doctors and patients were looking over like kind of laughing, but like from the outside that you were, you couldn't really hear them going inward. They just kind of see you guys all freaking out in a silent way.
Oh. Okay.
They kind of expect mothers to be kind of exuberant around this specific pool, so they, you know.
So not one, she says, holding up her right hoof. 2, she says, holding up her left hoof, and then putting them together. Clop.
Yes. And one of her students look up. Do you need a notebook to write that down, miss?
No, I don't think I need a notebook for that.
Okay. It might be on my final though, so I should keep it on my notebook. And she pulls out her notebook and starts writing down.
Do you have a fainting couch?
What kind of a class is this?
Oh, yes, yes. And one of the
Hmm.
one of the students rushes over to the bed that you just gone over to. All right. And she kind of positions it behind you. And action.
Oh.
All right.
This is
That
weird.
seems like a good part to go back to the other people.
Yep. And
Yes.
so we are over.
Okay,
here.
okay. Was I dragged along to the library?
Yeah, I assumed you guys all went to the library.
All right
You
then.
said-
I'm gonna go to the person asking for people. I'm like, I'm looking for some.
Oh, like the front desk lady.
Yeah.
And she kind of raises a small eyebrow. Ooh, you are a big one. Who are you looking for?
Ivory drop.
Ah, Miss Ivory. Kind of thinks. I'm not mistaken. She only comes in here on, let me think, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Kind of
What was yesterday?
Kind of thinks yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday. He hasn't been in yet though.
She hasn't. No, she wasn't here on Wednesday.
And she kind of shakes her head. Nope. She would have been in today. Kind of thinks. At least by now. I wonder where she is. She usually likes to bring me coffees and things, and I always like her visits.
Where is our scryer? The person who did the scrying.
Where is our scryer?
I mean, not really our scryer, because the only person who probably would be a scryer is our arcanist, but probably I don't think she hasn't much scrying.
For the briefest moment, Steady.
Nope, I'm not really good at scarring.
You kind of hear a whisper in one of your ears. I saw them come in yesterday. That's it.
I'm looking around. I look around. Is there someone whispering right in my ear?
Give me a perception check.
Okay, hold on. I can roll this. I swear. You know what I haven't done? I haven't gotten a drink tonight. Normally I have like a
fortitude
rum.
along with that.
I just usually tend to have like a cider or a rum or something. Okay, here we go. Rolling it. 31. That seems pretty good.
You just think it's rather awkward that you are being pointed at very subtly by a certain hippogriff. Kind of puts his claw down, and you stopped hearing that whispering again.
I'm gonna go back to the lady and say, thanks.
Oh, no problem.
Thank
dearie.
you. I'm going to. There's no way I can sneak around to the guy. Is he alone? Are people staring at me? What's going on?
I mean, you are definitely getting looks. You are clearly the biggest thing.
Yes, I'm very large. It's hard for me to be stealthy in any way.
Yeah, like it's. I mean, it's almost a little obnoxious that as people are looking up, like our sphinxes are looking up at you, and from a distance, you could clearly see one of them just kind of like measuring you, though like to himself, like from a distance, he's just trying to get a good measure of you.
Yeah. I still have the -8 to stealth. I remember that from earlier? I remember that. Okay, I still need to talk to him. I'm gonna look at him. Is he looking at me? Is he looking away?
I mean, his ears are clearly flickering towards your direction, but he seems to be like focusing, quote, on the book that he's reading. Though he does, those eyes specifically don't seem to be moving across the page.
Right. I'm gonna try whispering then. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna ask if. So where? Why don't they think they're there?
And once again, he kind of seems to like almost itch his beak, but he points towards you, and he just starts. You see his beak start moving just ever so slightly. They tried to sneak in. You hear this, and you hear that in a whisper.
It was such a whisper I couldn't actually understand it.
Ah, they said. He just kind of itched his beak and pointed towards you. They snuck in. And the librarian's kind of looking up to you. Something got your attention, dearie?
I no, I'm fine. I'm sorry. I'm thinking,
Ooh.
wondering where she is.
Ooh, well, a library is certainly a place to think.
But it's not a place to know where someone who's not at the library is.
Well, and she kind of gestures somewhat up toward the the 4th or 5th floor. She almost looks like a little, like, she has this naughty expression on her face. Scrying spells are up there, just saying. These books on it.
I'm no good with those. I mean, the answer is I might actually be all right with them. I have a high charisma, so if I have a scroll, even if I have to use magic device, it's not that bad, but it's not very good either. I'd have to spend like an hour trying it over and over until I get it right, basically. As long as I don't roll as a 1.
I mean, fair. Well, from what you've seen, there is no specific, like, scrolls, at least on this 1st floor. I mean, most of it just seems to be books. So what she's directing you upward just seems to be, like, where the section for things such as scrying, just, like, as a study material would be.
I'm like, I guess I'm gonna step around a little bit, and I'm gonna whisper again. I'm like, thanks. Do you know anything else about when they snuck in, or where they are now?
And scritch, just on his nose. No, but meet me on the 2nd floor. And he stops.
All right.
He stops scratching his nose, and you see him kind of, like, close the book, just as casually as day as if he had just gotten done studying. And,
Right. I'm gonna say, I guess I'll look at the higher ones.
Wait, is this the penguin hippogriff or?
Yeah. Who's
Oh,
of,
okay.
Eavesdropping on the conversation.
Oh. Would I be in on this then? Because I was walking when we when we last left off from us. I was walking over to go talk to him.
Well, you could actually, Darkfire, feel free to give me a perception check really quick, because this spell actually does have DCs for that kind of thing.
What's that?
Darkfire needs. Oh,
Jeez.
yep. And you did beat the DC that was for that spell. You can hear his side of the conversations. Just kind of rubbing his nose.
My side?
No.
Oh, he's near.
Yeah,
He's
walking,
near Pingwing. Okay.
Yeah, he was kind of walking toward him, and this is like you were getting his side of the conversation, Darkfire.
Well, it's the better side of the conversation.
And just before you get to him, you see him kind of close the book up, and he starts walking up, towards some stairs. Doesn't seem to have like noticed you. He's not like running away from you, but he did stand up like as you started to get near and just kind of start walking off.
All right. Well, then I guess I'll. I'm gonna walk into kind of a secluded area, just nearby before he gets too far, and turn into something small and follow.
Fancy.
Like.
All right. I'm going to do the thing where I'm going to pretend like I'm going upstairs to higher floors, but I'm going to stop at the 2nd floor secretly. Once I'm out of sight of anybody who knows I'm going to higher than the 2nd floor.
Wow.
You fool!
Give me a bluff check.
Really?
Who
Unless you want.
who am I supposed to be going after?
Well, start answer. Funnily enough, you know the character that was kind of eavesdropping on the conversation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You know him. He's a regular. He likes to study here a lot.
Okay, well, I'm just going to make my way up to the 2nd floor then. Or no, wait, I didn't hear any of that. I will be making my way following
Steady shoot?
Steady Shoot because why not?
And the librarian just kind of, Oh, okay. Well, you know where you're going. Learning is a journey, and she kind of waves you off.
Wave back.
And he takes he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop going up the stairs at the pace that he is, and kind of stops up at the second floor. If you guys are going after him up those stairs, you'd see him kind of walk behind. I mean, it's a library. I mean, you're able to find more than one secluded space in a library. First of all, to do a transformation. Second of all, just be in a quiet area. And he seems to be going in one of those areas, kind of like in the crux of some bookshelves, almost. Just like kind of like a private little nook, almost, between a lot of the books. And he kind of stops in there and just casually opens his book and then looks back down, though his eyes don't fall across the page. Feel free to give me a stealth check, Mr. Darkfire, if you were intentionally being sneaky.
I can't be
well, it's
sneaky
more
if
like
I have it.
being it's more like hiding in plain sight.
But
However.
hiding is the key word.
Wouldn't that be a bluff check to make it look like you're not doing anything?
Oh, like, are you intentionally, like, acting
So,
like
like,
something
basically,
here, or?
well, yeah, I become here we go, a scarlet spider, which is tiny, and basically I just kind of follow behind him, crawling along the walls and the ceiling, and then hiding amongst books and bookshelves.
Oh, that's right. You become a tiny thing, which is a huge buff to your stealth, by the way.
Yeah, so
you probably could have made the stealth check.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just go ahead and do that?
It would be a stealth check. It would be like a bluff check if you were trying to act like disguised person or disguised self.
I forgot that he was turned into a little creature.
Yeah.
So here, I'll go ahead and roll a stealth check for you then.
Very nice.
Oh, it's pretty good. Pretty good. It's a decent roll.
He does not seem to have noticed you at all.
Alrighty, and I'm like, it's basically you said he's pretty much in a nook right next to a bunch of bookshelves, right?
Yeah, like you could literally hide in one of the bookshelves that's like not even 10 feet away from him.
Okay, I will do so, and then I am listening in for this conversation.
Alrighty.
Right.
And
I'm following him until he stops.
And he stops, and he's just kind of staring at the book, but his eyes aren't moving across the page again.
Sure, I guess I'm gonna do the thing where I find a book. I pick a book, probably mostly at random, from the thing.
Give me a D12.
Critical 12.
You find a book and just entitled "Death," an anthology.
All right.
What section are we in?
You are currently in the you're currently in the pretty much the second level like necromancy spell section, like studies and things. And
yeah. So it started as kind of looking around them like, I'm not sure I want to be seen here.
Are you saying this out loud, or?
No, that kind of look. Just be like, kind of shifty of,
oh, okay, I get it.
really? We're going to meet over here? I don't like being over here.
This is not your favored part of the library.
No.
Your favorite part is literally on the exact opposite side of this section. Alright.
Anywhere except this section.
Yeah. And you pick up this book. What are you doing with it? Clobbering someone over the head?
No, I'm doing the same thing where I open the book, and I guess I pretend to be looking at it while I try and do the sneaky conversation.
Ah, well, you open the book, and upon the pages of the book are kind of a rather gruesome image of like spell effects and things like that, and like it's effectively like a history book on like how these spells were discovered. And you kind of sit down next to him, and he just kind of says to you as casually as day, "Oh, that's quite the read right there."
I look at it for a moment and I say, "It's related to something to something I met recently."
Oh, you've met, and he kind of like looks at your page. You've seem to have met a necromancer.
Something. Maybe so.
Oh, well, I hope that's a good read for you. And he looks back down to his own book. I've read this so many times. And he kind of holds it up, and like on the cover, he kind of like shows you the cover. It's just like a small like image. It's like an arcane symbol, and like in the center of that, like think arcane symbols in like the sense of like Doctor Strange, though in the center, in the same kind of designs, is like clearly the shape of like a penguin. Yeah, you kind of I write in it too. I read and write in it. And he kind of gives a little chuckle. Anyway, kind of looks left and right. And he sees a Star Dancer. Ooh. Are they with you?
Yeah, she's with me.
Okay. And he kind of itches his nose again and points to you, Star Dancer, and just like in your ear, you kind of hear this little whisper. Grab a book and sit down.
Star Dancer kind of shudders, sits down, and pulls out her own book from her bag.
Ah, so you have your own books. I see how it is. No D12 roll for you then.
If it makes you happy, I'll roll a d12.
Heck yeah.
See which book squishes me.
Which book you're currently on top of?
You know what? Screw it. I'll do that. An 8.
You're on top of a more fictional book, just entitled Necronomicon.
Oh, I don't feel comfortable here.
I mean, it's clearly like a fictional book. Like it has like.
Oh, clearly in a fictional world.
Yeah. So obviously non-fiction to us, but you know who's counting. And like it seems to like be well read. There's a couple like tears on the pages and things. Like you're on top of the book, you could kind of see that there's some tears in the pages and stuff.
Hmm.
And Star Dancer, you're sitting over next.
What?
You're sitting over next to him and steady shoot.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I sat at the same table and then pulled out my own book.
What are you doing, Yzdel?
Oh yeah, huh? He exists.
Excuse me. I followed them up, but I'm actually going to go and read the books, but just stay within earshot. But I'm gonna walk around looking at a couple different books, see if I can find anything about capturing souls, because I'm assuming that's a necromancer.
On this, you're on the second floor, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I'll have you give me a perception roll. At least for this side, just kind of like looking around.
Give me 1 second to pull that up. Perception. What is my perception? Oh yeah.
Nice. And I will get to you on what you're looking at, like through the next bits of conversation.
Okay.
Funnily enough, you guys don't see Ring Dancer. Well, she didn't seem to have followed you up to like the place that you are. She seemed to just kind of casually keep going up the stairs as you guys went over here. And,
Who didn't stop?
Ring Dancer. She seemed to be going higher and higher, and just.
Yeah.
She's going to go find them. She's going to go find the bards.
Can't stop, won't stop.
And he kind of he looks up, he looks around, he itches his nose again, and he kind of points in the direction of Yzdel. And Yzdel, you kind of get a message in your ear. Are you friendly? It's like almost this, like he's being kind of like whimsical about it.
I just reply, "Speak, friend, and enter."
Ooh, that's a good book series. That's all you hear back.
Tone of the Rings.
Lord of the... Yeah, I gotta think of a funny cat name for that one. But kind of looks through you guys. I don't see anybody here. Do you guys? And it looks around. Look. No, he doesn't seem to notice you still, Darkfire.
Whew.
He goes, okay.
This is great for building trust.
So. And he kind of, he opens his book again, looking down, just like his thing. But he's, like, speaking to you guys directly. I heard you were looking for Ankh. Are ya?
Apparently, these ones were looking for had traveled with him, and we're now looking.
Ooh, curious indeed. I've been on his trail. He kind of like looks almost inquisitive. There's a conspiracy afoot.
It's the magic school. When isn't there a conspiracy afoot?
Oh, this is a new one. He kind of clap.
Oh,
Star seems so impressed.
And he kind of like he nudges you, steady shoot. Hey, you were looking for him too, right?
I'm looking. I guess.
What do you know?
I'm looking for Ivory Drop.
Ooh, she's one of my good friends. She didn't come in. It's kind of weird.
Wait, who did he say?
He just said she's one of my good friends, but she didn't come in today.
Okay.
Just kind of weird because we're study buddies.
I kind of nod, not saying anything. Like staring at the book, but not reading the book. Still, just kind of like,
in before this whole library gets destroyed in a rage frenzy. Calling it now. And he just kind of nods. Anyway, kind of like looks up. I'll tell you what I know. You tell me what you know. You know, trust. What do you know about
Right.
Ankh? Did you hear his question?
I mean, I did. I just don't have an answer.
Well,
What was he doing? What was he doing when we found him? When
uh,
we were partying around, we had done the whole gamut of we started at the wedding, and then was brought over to the slave town.
you guys,
And we were doing the good thing at the slave town with the orphans.
You guys, if you guys would like, I can let you ponder some questions while you move over to Little Spout. Yeah.
What's that?
I might move over to Miss Little Spouts to give her a turn, and you guys can feel free to ponder questions in the meantime.
Sure.
Sweet. Little Spout.
That is my name. Do not wear it out.
Poof.
He
You
was
fainted
planning on
upon the
wearing it
fainting
out.
couch.
Yes, I presume that she awakens not too terribly long thereafter because she is annoyingly tough.
Yes, and like upon the fainting couch, you open your eyes, and it's like you're being carted down the main like hallways of the place again. Like you weren't in the room that you were in, and a couple of these students are kind of pushing behind you, just kind of going, "Make way, mother coming through!" And there's nobody in the way.
Little Spout sits up on the couch as she is being pushed along.
And they kind of like the students that are pushing you look like super happy, and like there's more students behind her that seems to be just taking notes, and one of them just kind of like holds
Yeah,
up a
this is
hoof.
pretty
That took
weird.
exactly 3 minutes.
This is a really weird class.
Welcome to Short Hose Education.
Learning things that are starting.
And,
Yes, she shall tilt her head. Okay. So I have to buy 2 of everything.
ooh, and the nurse kind of, the nurse slightly taller than the others kind of trots, and like is able to like catch up to you. Like the bed is still moving. She's just running alongside of you. Oh, okay. Do you have? Ooh, oh, I haven't run this fast in a long time. Have you gotten any signs at all?
Signs? Question mark.
Lashtada blesses us all. She kind of holds up a small holy symbol of Lashtada.
Oh, maybe a few? Tilts her head.
Ooh. Did she tell you? Did she tell you? Oh,
At this point, Little Spout like reaches out with her mouth and tries to just grab the poor doctor and drag him up onto the couch.
feel free to give me a strength check.
Well, fortunately, the little doctor is probably lighter than most other ponies she might try to do this with.
I tried to pull up, steady shoot, said the short hooves.
No. That's sure not a thing that is happening.
Ow, stop biting me!
Little Spout gets a better idea. Out comes the water whip.
You're just gonna whip her up?
Yep.
Whee! She kind of, whoa! Thump. She's kind of wet around the middle now.
There, see, that's much more comfortable.
And she just kind of catches her breath for a second. Oh my. Ooh, thank you. And like a couple more students like chime in to help the pushing down. Like, you know, now there's more weight on here. They just get like a couple more students to resume the speed that they're pushing.
It amuses me because, like, the very first thought on Little Spout's head is like, hey, I'm not that. Oh, wait, maybe I am that heavy.
And she catches her breath. I was trying to ask, did she send you any signs? We can't exactly see the gender here, but I've known a couple that have seen sign from Lashtada. Points to the sky.
Well, I mean, it's not that's. She tilts her head one way, tilts her head the other. I mean, it'll be really obvious when it happens, won't it?
Oh yes. A surprise, I suppose, if she wants you to have a surprise. She kind of tilts her head left and right. That's all the more fun. Mm-hmm.
No, wait, she says, thinking about this. Wait. I think there was a boy and a girl.
Ooh. A couple of the students just kind of, and they start writing that down, and you just see like,
Scribble.
scribble.
God damn
You just see the two different.
Which also means that they're not identical.
And she kind of gasps. Ooh, how did you figure that out?
Well, step 1, be an adventurer. Step 2, be willing to drink things that you maybe shouldn't drink. Step 3.
What did you drink?
Get
What
lucky.
did you drink? Says one of the students pushing you.
Now, Little Spout is like squinting, trying to remember exactly how she got that vision. It was a long time ago. I didn't even know I was pregnant.
Feel free to give me a history check.
You and your history. You sure do love that history.
I do. It's my players need to remember something that happened to them check.
Yeah, this is the if you didn't put ranks in this, you're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
What just happened? Oh, there it is.
Ooh,
Okay.
very nice.
It's like I saw the 20, and then it disappeared for a moment. I was like, oh god, and then it came back.
You do remember holding that like small like crystalline kind of focus from the Tenga. Very briefly, it kind of there was like two little swirls in it. One was blue, one was pink. That was kind of the thing that you kind of ponder on and remember.
Yeah. What was in it? Besides
Just,
swirls?
yeah, it was just a very faint, like two little tiny orbs within the crystal that were just like blue and pink, and they just started swirling around for a moment before it just went away. When you picked it
All right. So I will describe the blue and the pink, and that is why I'm pretty sure it is a boy and a girl, and they're both equally lovely, and they deserve all of the hugs. I will have to invent more hugs just so that they can have them.
And they all start cheering and clapping you on. Yeah, you're gonna be the best mother ever. And just very briefly, as you're being pushed down this hallway, you see Beautiful in a different room that you guys are just zipping past.
I hope everything's okay.
It's just like from Beautiful's perspective, they just say, "Wah!" It's a cheer of like yay and happiness. And they seem to be kind of like they take a sharp like right turn. They seem to be ahead of you. Seems to be the front of the hospital. Was that and like she's on the bed and she's just like was that all you needed to visit about today? Is there any more questions?
Do you have anything for a mother-to-be who is also an adventurer?
Yes. And she kind of holds up a hoof. We have a Notley. Kind of points.
A what?
A Notley. She kind of points almost like eastward. We're looking at the map.
So, were you pinging?
Oh, no. Hang on. I'll point right here. Boop. Notley. Try to point toward that direction of the building.
Little Spout tilts her head. Okay, so I need to get my friend, and then we'll go over there to visit. I have to see how she's doing first, though.
Ooh, what friend? Is it your boyfriend? And all of the students behind her go, ooh.
No, he's home thinking about becoming a new dad. I think he might be having a panic attack. But no, I'm talking about the one that's made of stone.
Oh, that was your friend. Wow, she's huge. Says one of the students.
Yes, she is very big, but she is also really, really nice.
They
You know what? I find a lot of big people are really, really nice.
A couple of the students look back, and they start scribbling down. And upside down, you can kind of read it. Big equals nice. On the paper. And
suddenly a giant dragon appears. Roar! Oh, that's the nicest thing ever. Hug it. And all the hugs happen.
Death happens.
And then the dragon is unsure how things have turned this way. Does this mean it won?
You know, one might never know. But they bring you toward the front, and she's just kind of like after the statement about your panicking husband, she just kind of and she starts like rummaging through her bags. Give him some of this. She gives you like a small like orange-ish bottle, and inside seems to just be a couple like shreds of leaf almost. They'll need it.
Oh. She tilts her head a little bit, when pondering what strange effects this may have. Okay.
Do you read Sphinx? There is a label on it.
Sphinx. Boy, I'm pretty sure that's not a language that I picked of my 3 languages. Yeah, I have characters that are like masters of all the languages. It's not one of them.
The bottle itself then will remain a mystery drug, as Little Spout.
No.
And
it's like Little Spout would like taste it to determine, but she's not sure she wants to take boy pony medicine, especially right now.
And as the cart just kind of comes to a stop, it almost crashes into the front reception, but they stop it, almost as if they do this all the time. And
Little Spout just sort of slides down a couple inches.
And like you slide into her a little bit, and she gives you a pat on the head. No charge today. No charge today. We never see short hooves. This was an amazing experience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And she kind of gives you a hug. Hugs, but it's like an upper body hug, so she makes sure she's not like doing any damage or anything unhealthy.
Hugs are reciprocated.
Yay! And like all the students start clapping, clap, 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 clap. And like because groupthink is a thing, as they start clapping, like a couple other like patrons of like the waiting room and stuff like that, just they're like, oh, they're clapping. What's happening? And they start clapping.
Something good has happened. Quick clap!
And eventually you get this whole like bottom floor just clapping for you.
Yay! This is gonna be great. Now where's my stony friend?
And they all the students at once like point down the hall that they just came down, and then leftward.
Be right back. And off she goes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I imagine.
Yes. Meanwhile.
In a galaxy far, far away.
We need somebody whose name is Meanwhile.
That'd be a good like I guess like time focused like Meanwhile would be like a good like Clockwork Pony name. Like that focuses on clocks. Like that's his cute.
Or a conjurer. Meanwhile, disappears.
So, what are you guys questioning about or looking or doing? There's many things.
I'm a spider.
Nice.
Reading the Necrocomicon. Nomicon.
Necrocomicon.
Jeez, I cannot see.
Necroomnomicon.
And I mean, just kind of like thumbing, I guess, legging through a couple like just edges of the page. You get a couple like you get a couple like glimpses of a couple words through the book that you're on top of. Like some of them just include the words "damsel in distress," or like "death," "rise again," like in quotes. My "rise again, my lovelies." Seems to be a very, very thrill-seeking novel.
Okay.
Yzdel, from your perception earlier, you do not find anything related to soul prisons, other than maybe like a fictional book or two.
Okay.
Keep in mind, though, as per the librarian's instruction, there is multiple floors, and based on what she said, the higher level magics are on the upper level floors.
I start going up another level.
You're gonna leave your party, go after Ring Dancer?
Well, yeah.
Cool. Just making sure. I always double confirm your actions before I send you on your way. So the people with Mr. Hippogriff, believe you left off with Steady Shoot acting all grumbly at the fact that he was study partners with Miss Ivory Drop.
I actually hadn't thought of potential jealousy. It's not
That's
something
okay.
I thought of.
I'll be jealous for you. I'm so jealous.
No.
Nope, too late. I am so jealous right now. You can't even understand.
So, what are you guys doing?
Well, we're talking with the guy
Mm-hmm.
who I assume I know the name of, but I'm not going to actually get. I think I already leaked his name, and I'm assuming that's his name, but maybe it's not his name. Maybe he's just got a regular name, rather than a foul themed name.
Well, you could certainly ask. I know Star Dancer knows the name. Like, in character.
I'm certain I do. I just find where the rule note was.
Yeah. That being said, I believe the last thing he asked you was, okay, you tell me what you know about Ankh, and then I'll tell you what I know. Trust.
Okay, well, I am going to start basically with I know Ankh as an adventurer. So I'm going to describe how we met, which starts off at the wedding, and then continues in the I don't remember the name of the city, but Steady Shoot would.
Mm-hmm.
With the slaves and the mansion, and then I think we just sort of lost track of each other around the time we were gonna invade the mansion.
Yeah, like he just
or
kinda,
shortly thereafter, he decided to part ways.
The Children of the Night thought he kind of went a little soft because he wanted to piece out of the operation. Kind of like not for the faint of heart kind of thing, you know. And he kind of nods. Ooh, you certainly have been through a lot. And he disappeared on you too. Kind of points. Oh, he didn't know I was following him. Anyway.
Well, when he disappeared on us, he came back over here apparently.
Ooh, how mysterious! How mysterious indeed. And he kind of.
Since he's here now, you know.
He opens his book somewhere toward the back, and one of the pages on the back, it's kind of inset a little bit. Around the edge, it's padded around the edge of the page with like normal paper, but in this kind of center, like almost hollowed out kind of, in almost a hollowed out kind of way, is like a blue-esque ethereal piece of paper, and he starts kind of writing in it, and like no words or anything kind of appear that seem to be he'd be writing, but I mean he's definitely diligently writing something. He kind of closes the book. Awesome.
Okay.
So, kind of puts his claws together. Can I trust you? And he looks left and right.
The answer is no.
Sure, absolutely. Actually,
Okay.
now I think about it, this is steady.
You can't tell anybody because they think I'm crazy. Kind of like looks left and right. They all think I'm crazy. He seems to like be a lot more confident than when you first like started talking to him. But I have this theory that Ankh lives somewhere in this library, but he disappears random parts of the night. He looks almost nervous. You don't think I'm crazy, do you?
No. You say he didn't leave the library. He found like a secret place to be.
I don't know. I've been trying to tail him, but every time I turn the corner and I just think I got him, he's not there.
Have you actually seen him since the last time you knew you saw him when he snuck in?
And it's kind of like he looks down. No, I wasn't fast enough. He came in. And he kind of points. He points to you. He came in with Ivory Drop, the one you were looking at, which is strange because, like I said, she didn't come in today.
Right.
They kind of snuck in, and he kind of points upward. They went to the 5th floor.
Okay, they went all the way up to the place with all the crazy spells.
That's for like masters, and he kind of like looks up there. Almost there. He kind of holds up his book. Been writing this bad boy for years. He kind of gives his book a hug. Briefly, from like his side pouch, you hear this small like, kind of like birdish cry.
What? What happened?
Just like as he's giving his book a hug, from like his side pouch, you just hear this small like birdish, like low birdish cry that's just like.
Oh, okay.
And then he looks down. Shh, it's a library. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, what about the other people in this conversation?
Yes. Well, Darkfire's listening in on the conversation. Star Dancer is
That's true.
there in the conversation. Yzdel went upstairs to go after Ring Dancer, and that's pretty much where you guys are at. Well, go after Ring Dancer in a sense. He's going up to the higher floors. Are you, did you want to ask any questions, Ring Dancer? Or, Star Dancer, sorry. Wrong Dancer.
No, because I'm still like, I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but...
Ah, fair. We go to Mr. Yzdel then.
See, it's very easy when it comes to Steady right now because he has his priorities straight.
And,
What does he want to do? Find Ivory Drop. Okay, where is Ivory Drop? We don't know.
You
But
managed.
he was with Ankh.
You managed to catch up to Ring Dancer, Yzdel, around the 5th floor, where he was kind of, around the 5th floor. There seems to be about 9 total floors and then a roof. And she still seems to be going upward, up. She looks back. You coming?
I suppose.
Yes. She kind of gives a little fist bump. She keeps going up and up, and if you're following her, she doesn't stop at the 9th floor. She kind of like looks up, and there's like a door that's kind of leading outside. There's definitely like light behind it. Like this is the roof. Yeah, she pushes it open. She pushes it open. And you hear a lot more clearly that same kind of discordant bardic chaos, though it seems to be actually kind of flowing together. She starts swaying back and forth. Ooh, I knew they would be up here today. They're on schedule. And she looks back to you as well. Come on! And she jumps through the door. Boom, boom.
I follow her.
And Indeed, the bards are now playing on the roof today. Sunny day as ever. A couple of them have sunglasses. Funnily enough, on the roof here, there seems to be a lot more like playwright-based bards that are just kind of out like acting and singing and putting on lavish performances for like in costumes and such, which is almost somewhat whimsical for a Sphinx. When you come to think of it, kind of playing in the background of some of their performances. There's like a couple others that want to just kind of make a little improv, like seem to be practicing improv on their instruments. And Ring Dancer's just kind of going around like listening to all of them and having a grand old time.
You okay there?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry.
As he's dying.
No.
What are you doing, Yzdel?
I'm following her up to the rooftop. And
Yeah,
I'm
that's
on the
what
rooftop.
that's what she's doing on the rooftop, is just kind of going around listening to all the bards. She's happy to like pull you around, and like she just seems to be really like enthralled by all the music going on and is just really happy in general. She kind of like nudges next to you. I never got to listen to these performances before. These are really cool. And a couple of the bards that like while she says that just like look really happy. I'm glad you like it, miss, says one.
Yzdel just kind of very distractedly says, "Yeah."
Well, Ring Dancer herself seems far more distracted than you are by the performances. It doesn't really catch on to your discordant nature. However, she keeps pulling you around. Pull. Ooh, look at this one. Sit down. It's like a play of Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Catnip. You know, a pretty famously well-known play.
Are they at?
They're at they're at Catalot right now. That's the scene that they're acting out. There's also she watches this one for a little bit. She kind of pulls you off. Ooh, I love this one, and she pulls you to another one, a well-known play, The Sound of Meowsic. I'm so sorry.
The hills are alive.
It hurts so much.
That's the worst that could happen.
I can't wait for you to look at the direct message I sent you at some point. Don't look at it now, because if you look at it now, you're gonna start laughing.
Okay.
Just a heads up. But
And that same bard that you guys had seen the previous night, kind of goes up to you, and he's still sporting his lute. Oh, hello! He kind of waves over. Wave.
I just kind of nod to him.
He's like the freshman, like that kind of like freshman-looking one. He kind of like Ring Dancer is all too like. It takes her a second to like pull her attention away from the play that she's currently watching. Oh, hello, friend. We didn't get your name last time. Kind of waves. Like, oh, it's fine. I'm no one important, but and he kind of holds up the lute sheepishly. I was wondering if you could help me out with another spell. Looking between you two again. Please, and he starts putting his claws together. Please.
I guess.
Yes.
I will help if you can answer these riddles.
And Ring Dancer stands up. Oh, of course. And she joins you. What's this one? It's a secret. And he pulls up the lute. And just to make sure, I do have your consent, yes? And Ring Dancer nods. Of course. All right.
Yeah.
He strums the lute, and it's a lot more of a romantic tune, clearly. And I need you to, I need both Ring Dancer and you yourself. Save.
I know exactly what you're doing now because I gave you the idea last time. However, I honestly don't think it'll change any. Like, even if we fail, it's not going to change anything.
I mean, fair.
Will save?
Yes. There's your. Oh, that's definitely not a strong roll. Oof. Well. Ring Dancer starts just kind of swaying with it. Sway, sway, sway. You kind of feel this effect come over your mind, Yzdel. Kind of like look over. And Ring Dancer looks to you. And look to her. And well, Ring Dancer seems to have a very shy smile on her face. So, I mean, other than just a little tingle on your end, Yzdel, it's still Ring Dancer, still a friend.
I know what spell you did.
Yes, and I will point out it says this spell doesn't override the target's normal sexual preference. Though Ring Dancer starts looking at you extremely shyly for a second, and the bard kind of raises his hooves. It works! Woo!
So I don't really feel anything.
No?
I was
Well,
like, what do
maybe
you
for the
mean?
bard.
What?
I was like, what do you mean?
I said, well, maybe for the bard.
I kind of look at the bard and say, what do you mean
Well,
it worked?
well, look at her. He points to Ring Dancer. And she kind of looks around. Oh, I don't know. There's nothing. Kind of like looks away, blushing, and she pats her hooves on the ground.
What level is he, by chance?
He is a level 4 troublemaker.
I mean, these are things for me to know and you to find out.
Can I ascertain, based on how skilled he is at the lute, what his level is?
You can ascertain that he's able to cast a second level spell.
I swear, it's gonna be like 6 hours. Only 4, okay. Well, at least 4 hours, okay.
Wow.
Do I know what spell that was in character?
Feel free to give me a spellcraft.
Oh, cool. I like
It
spellcraft.
is actually on your spell list, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Also, I will point out that you may be gay, but the creature instead feels an intimate platonic bond with the other. So this is what you are feeling right now.
Which, like I said, doesn't change anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's matchmaker. You know it.
Yeah. What was
I
that?
love the compounding of, well, what does this and this? And you're just like, yes, and?
Your point? Yes. This is going to be interesting, that's for sure.
I will point out that Ring Dancer has told you that she is straight before.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the reason.
I'm like, well, I mean, I guess it might have worked on me. This is the bar. I'm like, but this is going to be definitely an interesting time.
The bard just kind of tilts his head a little bit. What do you mean? Oh. Kind of looks toward Ring Dancer. And then to you. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you guys were a couple.
Unfortunately not.
And Ring Dancer she seems to go a little silent and like looks away a little bit, and you just hear the very split second just her whispering. He's not dead.
No, I definitely didn't hear that.
I heard it.
Oh, good.
I just kind of apply pot of face. And like, that's okay. No troubles from you, at least.
And he kind of shrugs. Well, I did ask for your consent first.
You didn't ask me for my consent. You only asked her.
Oh, Like I said, I thought you guys were.
And she's the only one that was affected. 100% normal.
Seems legit.
What ethics didn't provide, luck provided.
I just look at him like, while it didn't affect me, you should always make sure you ask both parties for consent.
And he just kind of he looks down. He looks down a little bit. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I feel like I'm giving a sex ed talk.
Hmm.
And with that, I don't believe Darkfire. Were you doing anything other than listening to these guys? Darkfire? Darkfire is indeed intently listening.
Darkfire needs food badly.
Oof, that is true. Well, Little Spout, go to you then.
As it turns out, Little Spout already has food. Little Spout is instead looking for a statue.
Zip around, you're looking.
All right, I'm back.
Ah, hi. I was asking you if you were doing anything other than just listening to the hippogriff be paranoid.
All right. Honestly, you're also gonna have to give me a too long because I had a phone call during that conversation.
Yzdel and Ring Dancer went up to the rooftop together. Ring Dancer.
Well, I got that part, but the part before that,
just before.
where Steady Shoot and this guy were talking.
Oh, I don't think they were talking just before that. Oh, wait. When did you leave? So I know when to catch you up.
I got the phone call right as they started having their conversation about you tell me what you know about Ankh, and I tell you.
Yeah, I went ahead. If you didn't catch it, I said that I went ahead and described the what's it called? I went ahead and described our adventures with him in the city and at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
he just thought it was really curious that he had disappeared on you, and kind of mentioned that he's been tailing Ankh occasionally when he comes in here because he never seems to leave. And yeah, he kind of wondered about that. And every time he turns the bookshelves to go see where he is, he can't find him. He's not there anymore. Rats. Been on the trail. On the trail, he says. He seems kind of like a conspiracy theorist almost, like in that mantra.
Mm-hmm.
He's like obsessed with this and just wants to learn about it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, upon realizing that there are others there, I go ahead and kind of crawl off of the book and go down the shelf in plain sight.
You're still a spider, yeah?
Yep, I am a bright red spider.
I take notice of a bright red, threatening-looking spider.
Oh, crud. Didn't think about that part.
And I mean, he's kind of giving his full spiel. A moment later, he looks down.
And I say,
what's your AC as a spider? What you say doesn't matter. He's gonna try to smack you with a book.
Which one?
You.
No, I said which AC?
You're just normal AC.
18.
Up really quick. Oof. Smack. Gets smacked with a book. And,
Oh, he did hit me?
yeah. We're going to take a whopping 3 points of damage.
Oh, man.
Whap. No, I don't like spiders. No, and you hear a couple people from the distance. Shh. Ah. And he kind of goes behind you, Steady Shoot. Kill it.
Well, and then at this point, I raise my front two legs. I'm like, ooh, I've been sent by Ankh to silence loose ends.
Give me an
Bum bum bum.
Give me an intimidation check.
Do I know this? Do I know Do I recognize his voice?
I mean, yeah, unless you just don't want to hear his voice through the talking spider.
I'm all right. I can recognize it. My
Oh,
eyes
no.
roll.
No.
What? Oh,
And
no.
Steady shoot. He just takes talking spider. Starts running down the bookshelves
Nope. I'm stopping him.
with your stretchy arms.
Yeah, that's right. I means I have a right.
All right, Groot.
This means I have to roll a grapple, don't I?
I mean,
Or am I just gonna stop him?
It's like, we're in a school with druids and you don't expect these kind of things.
Well, I mean, he is a conspiracy theorist.
I mean, people here's the thing: you could be in a school with druids and still be afraid of spiders.
Oh, that's true.
It's also
I
not a
don't-
school just of druids.
Yeah.
You can dislike some of the people in your university. Did you know that?
What? No,
As your
that's
character-
impossible. Shut up.
I'm a software engineering major, but I'm still scared of if statements sometimes.
What?
If you're scared of if you're scared of if statements, do this. Else do this.
Lambdas, the spiders of software engineering. Anyway.
Those unicorns of software engineering. Get it right.
Oh, you're right. But yeah, you stop him. No, don't put it on me. Don't bully me. And he kind of.
All right.
At this point, I kind of roll all my eyes and shift back to normal.
Could you please, please? I don't even elaborate. I just get exasperated.
I know. I didn't think he'd react that badly.
And
That's fine. Just do it now.
And
Oh
he kind
my
of
gosh.
he peeks through his eyes, and he sees you now, not a spider. Oh my God, you're just a druid. He kind of falls backwards, and as he does, out of his bag, kind of tumbles like a small, penguin, kind of indignantly on the ground. Oh, sorry. And he kind of picks the penguin up and just starts he just starts petting it in a very stressed manner. Just, ooh, okay, we're good. We go over to Miss Little Spout.
She is still here.
Wee, and you see the corner, and you see beautiful. Doom.
Did they fix you?
And I mean the door specifically is closed. It just has a window on it.
I mean, that might not stop her from asking.
Yeah, it's beautiful kind of lifts. There's a couple clerical people around her that look a lot more serious than your short host friends. She kind of holds up a paw to her stony ear, she can't hear you. What?
Little Spout holds up one hoof. Fairly easy for a pony to do. And then she plonks her head up against the glass, trying to get a good view.
And what's the two doctors that are kind of going around her, they have symbols of the unspoken on their garbs, and there's no students with them, and they seem to be going back and forth and lighting up her body a couple times, as they just kind of extend their hooves or.
Hey, see, if Little Spout actually had knowledge religion, she would be tempted to ask them, "Why so serious?"
And they're kind of putting hooves and or claws over her body occasionally, and just kind of lighting it up. And funnily enough, you know her to be unfeeling, but as they do this a couple of times, it looks like she's almost being tickled, kind of wiggles side to side.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Which is supremely cute. And at one point, they kind of they do the same thing over her belly, and her little rocky claws extend and just kind of as cats do. When you pet their belly.
As you do.
And they very quickly learn, you could tell they're very quickly learning not to do it in that specific spot. And they just proceed to do it behind her ears and stuff like that. And the doctors themselves didn't seem to take notice of you until they started walking toward the door. One of them just stopped, and it looked like he was just talking to his coworker from the back who looks over to see you. And they seem to be just having a small side conversation, specifically looking at you. And then they just kind of the front doctor just kind of shrugs and he starts walking forward toward the door. And he opens it. And if you're floating on the door, you're just gonna be pressed up against it as he kind of opens the door.
Bonk. Hi, says a small hoof just waving around the edge of the door.
Hi. Kind of gives like a one clawed wave.
Is she okay?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of manners of speaking. I mean, she's not my okay, obviously.
Are you close family or friend or acquaintance?
Close friend. That has become almost family.
He looks in. Miss Beautiful. And Beautiful just kind of waves out. Yes. That's me. I'm beautiful. Waves. Do we have your permission to disclose your medical history to a Miss... What's your name?
Little Spout, she calls out.
To a Miss Little Spout. And Beautiful like looks back. Ooh, I love Little Spout. Little Spout's one of my best friends. She's beautiful too. She kind of waves to you, Little Spout. Hi, Little Spout.
Little Spout returns the wave.
Very
Wave,
well,
wave,
then.
wave.
And he kind of clears her throat. Well, I should first ask you, do you know how Miss Beautiful turned into stone?
Well, when I met her, she already was stoned, but I had a feeling that this might be the case.
Well, it would have been good to have written that down on her sheets then. And he kind of holds up a little. He holds up a small clipboard for Beautiful that was never mentioned.
Oh, I thought Little Spout had done it, in which case I thought she did mention that.
Well, the lady was trying to help her like write that down when you were putting down your name on the other sheet, and I didn't hear it mentioned. I just heard there was a name and a bunch of scribbles.
So many scribbles. I mean, it's very possible they just couldn't read it very well.
That's also very true.
If only they were also wear short legs, they would have figured it out.
Yeah. And he kind of rolls his eyes. Well, long story short, we can't restore her, nor do we know where she comes from.
Aren't there awesome magic spells for this sort of thing?
We know. And he kind of looks back. Unless you know any fancy quote magic spells, take it you're not a spellcaster, miss.
Just a small rain cloud appears over her head, drizzling.
You just hear like you start hearing over the intercom, ringing up on middle aisle. And from the side seems to be like a small janitor who's just on the clock, like going around cleaning up messes in the place. Kind of making his way over to you. He has like a kind of a bushier, like handlebar mustache.
Sorry. And she just sort of waves her hoof over it as it sort of dries up.
And he kind of turns around. Frickin' kids. Goes off the other way.
Darn adventurers.
And,
I turn around for 1 second, and this is what happened.
and the doctor just kind of he waves a dismissive claw. Yes, well, is she in your care? Before you have a chance to answer, Beautiful just goes, yes, and she's the best care.
The Little Spout would give a thumbs up if she had one of those.
And the doctor looks back. Well, you have one of two options here. She can continue living in this state, and she kind of points up and down her rocky body as well, living crystal of sorts.
Or, says Little Spout, leaning in.
Or you can find whatever cursed her to be like this, or a power strong enough to make her not like it anymore. We can't solve this problem. We've tried.
Well, I mean, what do you do when people get turned into stone by like a Medusa or something?
Well, usually we call Dr. Amden down here, but even he's tried.
That's disappointing. Oh well, I know what our next side quest is. Floats over to beautiful. Guess what? You're a new side quest.
I'm a side quest, like the D&D.
Yes.
Ah, yes. And she pumps her hose. I'll be able to feel things again, and she raises her claws.
Don't worry. Once we accept a side quest, then we're on it. I mean, look how well that game went. We totally won.
We're busy.
And the other nurse that kind of like was next just kind of gives a small eye roll. And no wonder Dr. Amden didn't like them. Kind of walks off.
Don't worry. You just need a small touch of adventurer, and then you'll be all better.
Ooh, I love adventure. Kind of stands up. Adventure is beautiful, and I am beautiful.
Yes.
So
And
I am adventure.
Little Spout lands on her back. Onwards, my adventurous and beautiful steed.
And she starts walking off. Thump 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 thump. Like out of
You got a lot better at walking.
And she looks back. I've been practicing. And as she's kind of walking,
It shows.
And as she's kind of walking, there's like numerous like flower pots like around that are much bigger than the ones in your hotel. And I mean they're full of those like kind of fake plant like kind of styrofoam almost that's meant to look like dirt. She kind of just casually picks it out and takes the flower pot and like shakes it out, puts the plant back down, and then puts the flower pot on her head. Aha! You shall address me as Miss Flower Pot. And she goes onward, and you hear that same intercom clean up on secondary aisle entrance. You just hear this grumble from behind you. Walk outward. You guys made it out of the hospital alive, which is actually it's good for their PR.
We did it.
It's good for their PR. That's yeah.
We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray. Yeah, we did it.
We teamed up. We did it. So where are you two going? Well, Beautiful doesn't know where to go. She's kind of reliant on you.
No, I imagine she would just end up heading back to the inn and nobody would be there. And then she'd be like, oh. And then she would wait for them.
Well, if you were heading back to the inn, you would come back into a candlelight. Not really like thinking in the state that you left him, but he seems to have gone shopping for a couple things out and about town. Well, given some of his newer clothing items, he currently is wearing what seems to be like a new apron that just says "Kiss the Cook" on it. And it kind of shows there's like a little embroidered baby like upon it and stuff like that. And he's like making this huge big meal. And you kind of walk in on this and he looks over. Oh, hi honey, hi. I got really stressed, so I wanted to cook things. And he kind of like leans down underneath the pot that was like, he seemed to be trying to start to get into a boil. And he kind of blows a little puff of flame out. You being a kineticist can tell he's definitely expended a good amount of burn already just stressing over this.
That's just how they roll. This is kind of light, right?
Yeah, candlelight.
Well, then obviously Little Spout has little choice but then to do one thing.
Oh?
Obey the apron.
Oh no! And you catch him off guard. And bonk. You give him the biggest smooch ever.
And just like that, the apartment became a sauna.
Well, I mean, yeah, he is actually quite. Have you expended burn, Little Spout?
I mean, she does every day.
Sweet. So then, yes, there is indeed steam. So long as both of you guys have expended burn effectively, then yeah, physical contact would make steam.
But yes, the Little Spout shall pull back and go, I have even more better, bestest news.
Oh no! Oh yeah! And he kind of like tilts his head. What's that? What's that, honey?
Well, I guess there's two of them. And she raises one hoof. Step the first. I'm healthy. Step 1.5. Everything in here is healthy. She waves towards her midsection.
Yes! And he kind of gives a little fist bump. Oh, that was worrying me all day.
Step the second. They're so healthy that there's more than one of them. In fact, if I keep staying this healthy, maybe it'll be 3 of them? Probably not. Just 2 of them.
And his eyes start rolling into the back of his head and thump.
Oh no! I should have brought the fainting couch.
And he is out.
The little spout does the only responsible thing and tries to take over the cooking.
Let's take him to the what?
The cooking. He was in the middle of cooking.
Does it count to roll a concentration check for the 5 or 6 items he has going on at one time?
Little spout is going to fail, but she's going to try to fail gracefully.
Ah,
And not like burn everything to the ground.
that's fair. Well, I suppose with this, does this fall under survival? Because
Well, I mean, it could be survival or a profession cook. These are both things she doesn't have, but she can actually at least roll survival, so that's a plus.
Go for it.
She's gotta survive. She's gotta survive. No, she's not.
I mean, you managed to at least take care of like 2 of the things, though.
I imagine very quickly it's like, no, I don't know what I'm doing. She just starts turning off all fires.
Yeah, the souffle is gone. Like that's just.
Oh no.
Oh! Yeah, souffle does not. Yeah.
You did manage to stop a grease fire though, and just continue cooking the things that were fairly greasy that he was making. Next on
Little
the counter,
Sprout shall lean down and give him a smooch. One, even though he is unconscious. That's just for being such an amazing cook, and I'm not.
and I mean, he smiles in his unconscious state. And as you kind of bring yourself back up to the cooking, you would notice that next to like some of the greasier things up on the counter, you notice like a magazine clipping like from your hotel, and just in it is just like Cat Shack favorites, and it's just like he was following a recipe up on there.
Nice. Then she remembers a thing, and she pulls out a bottle, and she starts poking him. Poke, 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 poke. You need to take this.
Yeah.
Drink this. It'll make you feel better, I think. They said it would.
And he opens his eyes and he looks at the bottle. There's one of them? Hang on. And he kind of takes it. He's looking at the bottle. Blinks. He seems to actually be able to read it. Oh.
What's it say?
I gotta take this right now. And
The mystery only deepens.
Yep, hang on, I gotta look up something really quick. Oh boy. So, I have to give Mr. Candlelight a fortitude save real quick.
Surely nothing will happen.
Oh yes, as it goes. Alright, Candlelight, senses, fortitude. What did he roll? Very nice. And he kind of takes a big whiff of it. And he lets out a breath. And as he does, you kind of get that same general smell that you did around the catnip dispensaries that were around. And he starts looking increasingly more calm.
The little spout looks like faintly irritated.
He looks up to you.
Are you hiding from problems instead of facing them like an adventurer?
Uh-huh, man. Oh, sorry, you're my wife. Yeah.
She starts poking.
That's tickle, honey.
The poking will continue until you start facing your problems.
Hold on. And he kind of like stands up. This isn't a problem. It's a miracle. And he kind of like he pulls up to you, and if you're letting him, he's just gonna like kind of raise you up into the air like Simba. It's a miracle, and he starts kind of dancing, and he's like carrying you around the up on his 2 legs, like just carrying you around the kitchen. Look at my wife, and he takes you to the window, and And he like opens the he sets you down.
I was going to say, at no point does Little Spout stop floating because she's like fully realizing that he might just drop her at any moment.
It kind of goes.
And if she's floating, then he can't do that. He'll just like let go of her, and then she'll just be kind of floating there.
Yeah, I mean your presumption was correct as he goes over to the window and he kind of just like lets his hooves go and you just remain there in the air. He opens
He's
the
like, sorry, I have no clip mode on.
He opens the window and he grabs you again and he kind of like looks out the window with you and like there's like some random passerby going by. Look at my wife, she's a miracle, and he kind of sings and like puts you in front of the window. The guy looks like really confused.
No, I'm pretty sure the things inside me are miracle.
Oh, and those are miracles too. I got 3 miracles in my hooves, and he starts dancing, wiggling around. He seems a lot more calm.
I can't really argue this. You are very silly when you do that. Please don't do that again. You have to be silly naturally.
And he just kind of flops on the couch. Yeah, whatever you say, babe. And he kind of.
Oh my god.
Little Spout considers her various talents.
I will point out that in your hotel, given searching about it, you do have a Sphinx to Common / Sylvan translator dictionary. If you wish to figure out what was on that bottle.
No, I'm pretty sure Little Spout has figured out what she wants to do. She's just trying to figure out how to do it. She's like, is there a pool in this establishment?
A pool?
Yes.
There's definitely a sink. There's a pool, like, as part of it, yeah, that it's like a guest thing, like a public pool.
Yes, then she's going to invite him for a swim.
You know what they say about fire and water. We mix them. And he kind of like does like a hang loose sign and like gestures between you, like yourself and himself. Yeah.
Yes. Let's go make steam in the pool, she says with this alarming smile.
Give me a diplomacy roll. Oh, very nice.
Did I mention the alarming smile?
Yeah. And he just.
This is why she rolls a 4.
He kind of hikes an eyebrow. You mean in the pool? That's good.
Yes, to the pool right now.
How many miracles do you want? And he kind of stands up. Fine, you can go.
And so, since she can't drag him, she just talks him into going.
Yeah, he's just following, looking around.
All right, in the water.
And he starts like sizzling up the water just because the amount of burn that he's been using.
And now I'm ducking you. And she just lands on his head. And once he's under the water, she will unleash watery magic upon him. So he can actually breathe under there, but she's still holding him down there.
I'm rolling a general wisdom check real quick.
Man, this looks weird from the outside.
Yeah, no, anybody who's watching is like, wait, is she trying to drown him? What's going on?
I mean,
that's Ring Dancer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What's wrong with him?
Well, that's not a terribly good roll. I mean, what's his wisdom modifier?
Currently it's a definitely has a -2 to it. Let me pull up his.
How does he have so many low stats?
Well, -2, like 2 his wisdom score because drugs.
Oh, that okay. Well, what is his actual modifier?
+1 right now.
Oh, well then that roll is correct.
Yeah. So he starts shouting. You said he could breathe underwater, yeah?
Yes. I mean, that doesn't help him like talk very much. It's blah 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 blah.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, ah. He starts like kind of struggling. Wait is what he's trying to say. It's comes up as burbles. Blah 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 blah.
Nope. Holding them down. Hold on.
And
You are paying the price.
if you're able to understand him, he would be like, "For what?"
I'm going to keep you under there until you stop being silly.
I'm the doctor.
But I'm.
And there's like around the edges, like you see Jeffrey coming through. Madame, what are you doing? And a clops.
Teaching him a lesson. Don't worry, he can breathe.
Wow.
No, don't, you can't drown your husband. And he doesn't seem to
What?
want to get in the pool, but he's like trying to reach for you, but he can't. But he doesn't want to get his garb wet.
Fine. And she floats up.
And you float up, and Candlelight just like he himself, like he was thrashing up to that point, and he just stops moving, and he kind of distends his hooves outward, kind of floats on the water, looking down. You just see the last couple, like a couple bubbles from his, from the waters go. He lifts up his head.
You can come up now. Which probably sounds like blah 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 blah.
And like he floats upward, takes a breath, and kind of leans back. He does that like whole like just floating on top of the water on your back kind of thing.
What are you doing? You were breathing underwater just fine.
Am I dead yet? Kind of looks up toward the ceiling.
Yes, you're dead. Welcome to heaven.
And he kind of does like a fist bump. They won't drown me here.
Wow.
She lands on his head. Thump.
Jeffrey has given up on this lover's quarrel and just goes over. Ring the bell if you need me.
Alright, so this is going to go a whole lot of nowhere. I will let the rest of the party do things.
Nah.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you guys doing? You have successfully stopped Mr. Hippogriff from escaping your grasp, and he is now just petting a small penguin lovingly and more like in a
Right.
stress ball.
Good job!
What's your name? What's your name?
Hi, I'm Penguin. Hi, nice to meet you. And he kind of holds out a claw.
Yeah, called it. Anyway, my character shakes his hand. While I
Like
roll my
players
eye,
here.
while I roll my eye sarcastically.
You can't see how hard I'm rolling my eyes.
Just
And
have
the,
to imagine.
And the little penguin just kind of hops out of his claws as you give the handshake, and he kind of stands alone on his own, and he also holds out a flipper.
Sure, I put my hoof vaguely to his flipper. Shake it mildly. Uh-huh.
Penguin looks to you. Said his name is Gunter.
All right.
And he's pleased to meet you.
Sure. All right. Now, finding Ankh and Ivory Drop.
Ah, yes.
I mean, I do have strength.
Ooh, you do.
Are Yzdel and the other person, are Yzdel and Ring Dancer returning from the roof?
That's a good question.
Well, what are you doing? I guess the question is, what are you doing, Yzdel?
Damage
Now
control.
would be now would be a natural moment for them to arrive.
Well, yeah.
As the conversation turns back to business.
Yeah. So I can say that you guys probably like made your way down, and the entire way is the like Ring Dancer is just looking super shy. She like doesn't seem as talkative as she normally is. She seems to be like choosing her words carefully as she kind of speaks to you.
Hold on. I gotta wait. What is my...
And coming down to the bottom, the bottom of the third floor, so the second floor, you guys happen upon the site of well, Darkfire and Darkfire, Pingwing, Gunter, Steady Shoot, and Star Dancer in the middle of handshaking each other. Handshake, handshake, handshake. In tandem,
Right.
you guys would notice Yzdel and Ring Dancer, well, a very shy-looking Ring Dancer coming down the steps.
Right. So I just straight up ask him, like, what's up with Ring Dancer?
Nothing's wrong.
Oh, did you pull a? I turned.
I look at Yzdel.
Did you pull a steady shoot there?
No, a bard wanted to try out a spell on us, and it was the matchmaker spell, and she was affected by it.
No, it wasn't a spell. Kind of looked off from the distance.
So yes.
I look at Ring Dancer.
Wait. Yes.
And I message her because I'm not.
So how are you
Hold
pointing
on.
at her? I should ask.
You
Pointing.
Yeah, message requires you to point in the direction of the creature you wish to speak to. Hence why.
What's my tail?
Ooh, fancy.
I'm going to point so hard.
That's why it was like Pingwing kept pointing at, like, itching his nose and pointing at you guys, is because he was using the message spell as well.
Anyways, you guys can continue. I can go through messages with Duck on this. It was like magic.
Okay. Right. Well, we had just said. What did we just said? You had just said, like, did you do a steady shoot on him? And he said, like, no, it just cast a matchmaker spell. And I think the response was, so yes, like steady shoot.
No, I wasn't affected by it. She was. Everything's fine.
Wait, what's this about you being affected by a spell?
And Ring Dancer briefly looks like she's whispering to herself, and then looks back. Huh? No. It's not a spell.
Not you, him.
Oh. She looks downcast. I was just
How
gonna
aware?
say it's love.
I've always been playing dumb about the awareness of it. And I'm just like, kind of tilt my head. What happened with that doctor when he had the love potion? I was threatening to inject me.
Oh
he-
yeah, I was going to talk to Notley about that.
About it. Well, he asked.
Where did
To
that
go into
go
rage.
anyway?
The
Well-
love potion?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, Steady Shoot had grabbed his bag, but obviously Cornelian had the love potion from in the syringe, so it's still in his office.
Okay, so I was asking them also.
Well, last time I saw it. Alright, so I went to find Steady Shoot. He was in that one crazy person's office. And, well, the doctor asked him to go into rage for whatever reason he was wanting him to. And from what I could tell, that accidentally meant that the syringe got injected into Steady Shoot directly into his bloodstream.
That's probably not good.
No.
As you do.
And so the last time I saw it, it was in that guy's office.
Yeah, we should probably get that checked out. But first we're going to find out where Ank went.
At Darkfire's explanation of this, like, Pingwing, like, looks really quiet, and like it's kind of like a symbol of birds in general and that kind of thing. Like his feathers kind of wilf downward a little bit, kind of scoots away from Steady Shoot a little bit. Nothing. And, he's slowly going over next to you, Star Dancer.
I don't think you're his type.
No, it's not that. I just feel like he's gonna fight me. He knows.
Who's gonna fight you?
Nothing.
Knows what?
He looks increasingly Oh, sorry, Yzdel, I meant to whisper something to you. I just whispered to the wrong person. Check your DMs.
That's not good.
I whispered it to myself.
Oh, okay, that's fine then.
Did you whisper GM by accident?
I did. Whoops.
Bruh.
Meant to-
That's somewhat amusing.
You get this, Pingwing just starts kind of itching his beak again. Itch, 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 itch. Mutter, mutter.
And Stir just kind of groans and faces. Besides that, anyway,
Well, he's definitely.
so we should resolve this as soon as possible then.
Oh yes. And he kind of goes back to his book. He flips that one last page. That one last page with like the blue, the kind of blue inside of it. You see him kind of almost take it out, from the center, and more pages come out with it. And he kind of takes out this like kind of pamphlet almost of notes that he seems to have been taking. And he kind of starts flipping through them. Flip, 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 flip. Oh, I have a lot of notes. Suppose we could start on. Well, it's. He kind of flips to a different part of it. It's Thursday, so had to guess. I can probably spot him on the 6th floor. It points upward.
But you said he snuck in.
He did, but I got him down to a schedule, and he looks proud as he kind of closes the little pamphlet.
How many floors does the place say it has?
9.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. 9 floors. Higher level spells, the higher the floor you go. Of course. Silly me. I just remember you specifically talking about like 4 and 5. And you're like, the 6th floor. I'm like, is there a secret extra floor? No, there isn't. And until P2, there's no 10th floor. David should get that joke.
He should, except it's also after 9 o'clock and he has turned it.
Yeah.
So I am going to flee.
All right. It seems that we are going to follow Pingwing somewhere, and
Yes.
little Sprout may or may not catch up.
Well, before we get too far along, did you guys want to end this session right here for today? As you tail.
I think this is a pretty good place to end.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That was fun. Let me press the button. Say bye to everybody. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.